Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight on Detective Radio, we bring you one of the most haunting cases ever faced by Lord Peter Wimsey. A mystery written in the language of bells and death. On a bitter New Year's Eve, a small English village rings in the coming year. But with the tolling of its bells comes something far darker. What ancient sin lies beneath the quiet fields of Fenchurch St, St. Paul? Dorothy L. Sayers weaves a tale of sound and silence, of crime and redemption, in The Nine Tailors.
This, I believe, Bunter, is what one refers to as a frozen desolation.
Yes, indeed, sir. I've never been very keen on the Fen country, if you don't mind my saying so, sir. Especially on New Year's Eve.
Snow's really coming down like Billy-O now, ain't it?
I say, sir, isn't that bridge going to prove rather tricky?
Which bridge? Oh, this one. Hold tight. Oh, yeah, that's torn it. You all right, Bunter?
Yes, my lord. I appear to be unscathed.
I'm glad to hear it. Sorry about that, old lad. Just awkward. Well, let's consult the map and see where we are. Now then, where do you suppose we've got to, Bunter?
I think, my lord, we must have run off the proper road at Leamholt. Unless I'm much mistaken, we must be near the village of Fenchurch St. Paul.
I say, listen. Oh, thank God. Listen to that, Bunter. Where there is a church, there is civilization. Well, we'll have to walk it. Never mind the suitcases, we'll send somebody for them. Oh, I say. Yeah, a bit cold, what? I bet when Kingsley welcomed the wild nor'easter, he was sitting indoors by a good fire eating muffins. I could do with a muffin myself. Next time I accept hospitality in the Fen country, I'll take care that it's midsummer, or else I'll go betraying. Well, the church lies to windward of us, I fancy. Yes, it would.
I believe there is a car approaching, my lord.
Good gracious, there is. I say, that's a bit of luck.
Can I be of any assistance?
Oh, good evening. I'm afraid my car is in the ditch, as you see. It'll certainly need ropes and haulage to get it back on the road again.
Dear, dear. Frog's Bridge is a most dangerous place, especially in the dark. We must see what can be done about it. Let me give you a lift into the village.
Oh, that's very good of you, sir.
Not at all, not at all. I'm just getting back to my tea. I'm sure you must be wanting something to warm you up. Now, come along, then.
Thank you.
I trust you're not in a hurry to reach your destination. We should be delighted to put you up in the rectory for the night.
Oh, that's most kind of you, but really I wouldn't wish to trespass upon your hospitality.
My dear sir, pray don't think twice about it. We see so little company here that I assure you will be doing my wife and myself a very great favour.
In that case...
Excellent, excellent. We have ample accommodation in the rectory. There's too much indeed, too much. My name, by the way, is Venables. I should have mentioned it earlier. I am, as you would have gathered, rector of the parish of Fenchurch St. Paul.
My name is Wimsey, and this is my man, Bunter.
Delighted to meet you. Wimsey? I know the name seems familiar. Lord Peter Wimsey?
Correct.
Have I not heard of you in connection with... Oh, I have it. Notes on the collection of incunabula. Of course. A very scholarly little monograph, if I may say so.
Thank you.
Yes, dear me. It'll be charming to exchange impressions with another book collector. Dreadful weather, isn't it? There's a lot of influenza about at the moment. Such a nasty, depressing complaint. You must have this rug about your legs.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's most kind.
How fortunate that my husband should have met you, Lord Peter. I always say these roads are perfect death traps.
Thank you, Mrs. Venables, but there's no harm done. We stupidly ran off the road. Thank you.
You wanted me, Mum?
Ah, yes, Emily. Take this gentleman's manservant into the kitchen and make him comfortable.
Yes, Mum.
And Emily, arrange for Wilderspin to get Lord Peter's car out of the dyke.
Tomorrow morning will do for that.
Oh, to be sure. First thing tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir.
Ezra Wilderspin is the blacksmith. An excellent fellow. He'll see to the matter most competently.
Splendid.
Agnes, my dear, have you explained to Emily that Lord Peter will be staying the night?
Yes, that'll be all right. Oh, I do hope, Theodore, that you've not caught cold.
No, my dear, I've been well wrapped up. Dear me, yes. Now what do I see? Muffins.
I was just wishing for muffins. Oh, how jolly all this looks. Really, Mrs. Venables, it's tremendously good of you to take pity upon us. I feel like Ulysses come to port after much storm and peril.
My husband has asked you to stay the night, Lord Peter, but he ought to have mentioned that you will get very little sleep being so close to the church. But perhaps you do not mind the sound of bells.
Not at all.
My husband is a very keen change ringer, and as this is New Year's Eve...
We hope to accomplish a real feat tonight, or rather I should say tomorrow morning. We intend to ring the new year in with... you are perhaps aware that we possess here one of the finest rings in the country.
Indeed. Yes, I believe I have heard of the Fenchurch bells.
There are perhaps a few heavier rings, but I hardly know where you would rival us for fullness and sweetness of tone.
Is it a full ring of 8?
Oh, yes. The tenor, Tailor Paul, was actually cast in a field next to the churchyard in 1614.
Really?
Yes, you can still see the depression in the earth where the mould was made.
Have you a good set of ringers?
Very good indeed. Excellent fellows and most enthusiastic. Oh, that reminds me. I was about to say that we have arranged to ring in the new year tonight with no less than 15,840 statements. Now, what do you think of that? It's not bad, eh?
Bless my heart. 15,000?
840. 9 hours' work.
Well, that's equal to the great performance of the college youths in 1800 and something.
1886.
Indeed.
And that is what we aim to emulate.
Oh, gracious me.
If you please, sir.
And what is it, Emily?
If you please, sir, could James Thoday speak to you for a moment?
James Thoday? Why, certainly, of course. Put him in the study, Emily, and I'll be there in a moment. Please excuse me.
Certainly, Padre.
Do have some more tea, Lord Peter, and perhaps another muffin.
Thank you.
Oh, this is a most irreparable disaster.
Good gracious, Theodore, what in the world is the matter?
It's William Thoday. His brother Jim has just brought me the most terrible news. All the nights in the year. I ought not to think of myself, I know, but it is a bitter disappointment, a bitter disappointment.
Why, what has happened to Will Thoday?
Struck down by this wretched scourge of influenza. Quite helpless, delirious. Well, they've sent for Dr. Page.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
It appears that he felt unwell this morning, but insisted most unwisely on driving into Walbeach on some business or other. Most fortunately, George Ashton met him in the town, saw how bad he was, and insisted on coming back with him. Now he's in a high fever and worrying all the time because he cannot get to the church tonight. Oh. Well, what cannot be cured must be endured. But this is our last hope gone. We shall be reduced to ringing minors.
Is this man one of your ringers, then, Padre?
Unfortunately, he is. And with this flu epidemic, there is now no one to take his place. Oh, our grand scheme will have to be abandoned. And even if I were to take a bell myself, I could not possibly ring for 9 hours. And I'm not getting any younger. Oh, well, man proposes and God disposes. Unless, Lord Peter, I mean, you were speaking just now. That is to say, you are not yourself, by any chance, a ringer?
Well, I used at one time to pull quite a pretty rope. But whether at this time of day...
Oh, it will come back to you. It will come back.
Oh, Theodore, is it quite fair to ask Lord Peter, after a motor accident and at the end of a tiring day, to stay up ringing bells from midnight till 9 o'clock?
No, nothing would please me more, Mrs. Venables. I don't really need any rest. I would far rather ring bells all day and all night. Well, Bunter, that looks a nice bed, but I am not, unfortunately, fated to sleep in it.
So I understand from the young woman, my lord.
It's a pity you can't relieve me at the rope, Bunter.
I assure your lordship that for the first time in my existence I regret that I've no practical study of campanology.
You know, I am always delighted to find that there are things that you can't do, Bunter. Did you ever try?
Only once, my lord, and on that occasion an accident was only narrowly averted. Owing to my unfortunate lack of manual dexterity, I was very nearly hanged by the rope.
Well, that's enough about hanging, old lad. I don't want to talk shop.
Certainly not, my lord. Does your lordship desire to be shaved?
Thank you, Bunter. Let's start the new year with a clean face, what?
Because man may praise the Lord in many different ways. Praise him in the cymbals and the dances. Praise him upon the loud cymbals. And what better way for us in Fenchurch St. Paul to praise our Maker than upon the beautiful bells of our beloved church? Let everything that hath breath praise the Lord. And now it will soon be midnight.
Exactly 1 minute to go, Padre.
Then to your stations, everyone.
It'll be thirsty work, this will.
The needs of the body have not been forgotten, Ezra. The landlord of the Red Cow has once again provided us with ample beer to see us through the night.
Thank you, Vicar. Thank you.
Good luck to you all. Good luck, Lord Peter.
Thank you, Padre.
How fortunate that you should have been sent to us. I hardly think this is what men call chance.
30 seconds.
Everybody ready?
Yes.
Right. Hezekiah, sound the 9 tailors. The 9 tailors, the passing of man. The year is dead. Let the bells give time. Let the bells give time. Little Gaudy, Silver Sabaoth, Strong John and Jericho, Glad Jubilee, Sweet Dimity, Old Batty Thomas and Great Tailor Paul. Let us hear your voices. He rode upon the cherubim and did fly. He came flying upon wings of the wind. Ezra, you're doing well. Keep at it. Keep at it.
'Tis a joyful work, Rector. A joyful work.
It is. 'Tis indeed, Ezra. Harry, well, you look absolutely tireless.
I said.
Wally, I would never have known you to be a beginner. Well done, my dear boy. Lord Peter, I do hope you're not too exhausted.
Far from it. Only rather dry. A condition I see your good wife intends to remedy forthwith.
A glass of beer, Lord Peter, just to sustain you through the night.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Venables. Most welcome. Would you take the rope for a moment, Padre?
Yes, of course.
I say, most refreshing.
It's surprising, isn't it, how soft and mellow it sounds in here? But of course there's another floor between us and the bell chamber.
I wanted to show Lord Peter the bell chamber, my dear, before we started, but I couldn't find my keys. Mr. Godfrey was nowhere to be found.
You'll have to excuse my husband, Lord Peter. He's really rather forgetful.
Yes, I suppose I am, really. Especially with keys.
Well, back to work. Thank you, Mrs. Venables. Thank you, Padre.
The sun has risen on a new day and another year. But we're almost there, lads. Almost there. Tin, tan, din, dan, bim, bam, bom, bo. And the trebles in the last lead. And That's it. Magnificent, lads. Magnificent. You've done it, and it couldn't have been better done. As firm and as true as any ringing I've ever heard. Well done, Ezra.
Thank you, Rector.
Hezekiah. Well done, everybody. Oh, where's Lord Peter? Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure we owe you a very great deal. Not too fatigued, I hope?
No. No, I'm perfectly all right.
Breakfast. Breakfast is what we all want.
Yes, please.
That's all ready for you at the rector. Now, come along then, everyone. Come along.
Excuse me, sir.
Why, Johnson, and what are you doing here?
Sir Henry sent me to say, sir, that Lady Thorpe is very bad this morning. They're afraid she's a sinking fast, sir. She's very anxious to receive the sacrament, if you could see your way.
Oh, good heavens. Not so ill as that. I'm terribly grieved to hear it. Of course, I will come immediately. Lord Peter, you please excuse me. I'll be with you later.
Toll of the passing bell.
Yes, poor Lady Thorpe. She was only 37, you know. It's all very sad, very sad.
I heard one of your ringers say something about a burglary at her house.
Burglary? Oh, no. Oh, my goodness, yes. He must have been referring to the loss of the Wilbraham emeralds. Oh, but that was 15 or 16 years ago. Yes, the year of the Great War. April 1914, if I remember correctly.
That sounds fascinating. Tell me more, Padre.
It was an emerald necklace. Mm-hmm. And it all happened when Sir Henry and Lady Thorpe were getting married. Well, as you can imagine, there were a number of grand guests came from London for the occasion. One of them was an old lady called Mrs. Wilbraham. She'd come to stay at the Thorpes, and the very night after the wedding, when Sir Henry and his new wife were already on their honeymoon, Mrs. Wilbraham's necklace was stolen. It caused something of a stir at the time.
Oh, I can imagine.
The worst part of it was that one of the Thorpes' own servants was involved in it. When Jeff Deacon was arrested, and they discovered what he'd done.
Who was Jeff Deacon?
Oh, he was the butler. It turned out that he got in touch with the jewel thief in London, and together they planned the robbery. Deacon had been with the household for 6 years. He was married to the housemaid, Mary. She's Mrs. Thoday now, of course. Married to Will Thoday.
The fellow who's down with influenza?
That's right.
Then Deacon is dead now, I take it.
That's correct.
Uh-huh.
Quite correct, yes. Unfortunately, old Mrs. Wilbraham hadn't insured the necklace. Very silly of her. And Sir Henry felt duty-bound to pay the cost of it. And I'm afraid that's a financial blow from which the family has never quite recovered.
And didn't they catch the burglar?
Not for some considerable time. My wife.
Theodore, you know very well you shouldn't be walking round the garden in this weather without a muffler on. Oh, really, Theodore, you are difficult.
Winter sunshine, Agnes. Most delightful. Not to be missed.
Lord Peter, are you sure you're not frozen to death out here?
Far from it, thank you, Mrs. Venables.
Well, you'll have lunch, of course, before you go. Can you eat shepherd's pie?
Most certainly.
Right. I'll see you in 5 minutes. And, Theodore, do please try not to be late.
Yes, dear.
Where were we? Yes, the burglar.
What? Oh, yes, the Wilbraham emeralds. Well, the police eventually caught the burglar. Seemed to be rather a well-established jewel thief from London. But Deacon was definitely identified as the inside man. I believe that's what you call it.
So I believe.
Well, they arrested him one Sunday morning, just as he was coming out of church. Most terrible incident, Lord Peter. He struggled so hard. I mean, he nearly killed a constable.
And what was the name of the London thief, Deacon's accomplice?
I believe he was called Cranton. Yes, Nobby Cranton. That was the name.
Cranton. What became of the emeralds?
Oh, they were never found. There's been no trace of them to this day.
I suppose Deacon and Nobby Cranton both went to jail for a good long stretch, right?
Oh, yes. As then Jeff Deacon died.
In prison?
No. I believe he escaped after killing a warder. He's a most wicked person, Deacon. That was in 1918. But he benefited very little from it, because he fell into a quarry somewhere near Maidstone. He was in Maidstone jail, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And they found his body 2 years later, still in prison clothes.
Oh, what a jolly tale. I suppose it was all rather brave of Jeff Deacon's widow to stay on in the village.
Oh, but she left the village. And then when the news of her husband's death came through, young Will Thoday went after her and married her and brought her back to the village. And that was 10 years ago. And they've 2 children now. Very happy couple. A delightful couple.
And our jewel thief, Nobby Cranton, is he still in jail?
Possibly. But he may be out by now. Quite honestly, I don't wish to remember it very often.
No, quite.
The whole episode cast rather a cloud over the Thorpe family. And now Lady Thorpe's untimely death, it's all very sad, very sad.
What about Lady Thorpe? Does she leave any family?
There's one daughter, Hilary. She'll be 15 this month. A most sweet child. She's just come home from school for the holidays. Oh, dear me, certainly been a very sad holiday for her.
Indeed. Well, it's certainly an interesting tale.
Theodore, where are you? Lunch is ready.
But one I fear we must conclude for the moment.
Yes, I rather fear so.
Good news for you, Lord Peter. Ezra Wilderspin has repaired your car, and it should be ready for the road immediately after lunch.
Excellent, Mrs. Venables. I am most grateful. Really most grateful.
Do come again, Lord Peter, and help us ring another peal.
I certainly shall. You've been most kind.
Goodbye, Lord Peter. Drive carefully.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, thank you so much. Goodbye. Thaws come in, Bunter.
Yes, my lord.
Ever seen this part of the country when the floods are out?
No, my lord.
It looks pretty desolate. Acres of water with just a bank running across it here and there, or a broken line of willows. Look over there. That must be Van Leyden's sluice that turns the tide up the 30-foot drain. Shouldn't care for the sluice-keeper's job. Dashed lonely, I should think. Enough to make one drown oneself in one's own lock, what? Then what's this fellow want? Good afternoon.
Excuse me stopping you, sir. Would you be good enough to tell me if I'm going right for Fenchurch St. Paul?
Quite right. Cross the bridge when you come to it and follow the drain along in the direction you're going till you come to the signpost. You can't miss it.
Thank you, sir. How far would that be?
Oh, about 6 miles.
Thanks very much, sir.
You've got a cold walk, I'm afraid.
Yes, sir. Not a nice part of the country. However, I'll be there before dark. That's a comfort.
Like a fag?
Well, thank you very much, sir.
You don't belong to these parts?
No, sir. Driver's the name, sir. Stephen Driver. I'm looking for work.
Labourer?
No, sir. A motor mechanic.
Oh, I see. Yeah, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Motor mechanic, possibly, but not recently, I think. Stone quarrying is more about the size of it.
Stone quarrying, my lord?
You can always tell an old lag by his eyes, Bunter. Excellent idea to live down the past and all that, but I wonder what an ex-convict can want in Fenchurch St. Paul.
Some more tea, my lord?
No, thank you, Bunter. That was a most excellent breakfast, but we have a journey to make this morning.
A journey, my lord?
Yes, Bunter. By way of celebrating the arrival of spring. You will recall a village by the name of Fenchurch St. Paul, where we spent a most interesting and unusual New Year.
I've not forgotten it, my lord.
Well, I received a letter this morning from the good rector with some fascinating news. It seems that Sir Henry Thorpe has departed this life only 3 months after his good lady.
That is most sad and unfortunate, my lord, but I hardly see why it requires our return to that particular part of the world.
Ah, but it does, Bunter, it does. The good rector, you see, has requested my assistance, and it is an excellent opportunity, I think, to cancel all social engagements. Kindly do so, Bunter, and then send a telegram to Mr. Venables indicating that I shall be there in time for the inquest.
There is to be an inquest on the death of Sir Henry?
No, Bunter, no. On the body in the grave.
The body in what grave, my lord?
The body in Lady Thorpe's grave.
You mean Lady Thorpe's body, my lord?
No, that's just it. You see, according to Mr. Venables, Sir Henry wished to be buried in the same grave as his wife. But when they opened the grave, they found a man's body had been buried there, on top of the coffin of the original occupant.
Good heavens! And who is this man, my lord? Does anyone know him?
Well, judging by this letter, Bunter, I rather think his own mother wouldn't know him.
In its own limited, austere, and almost grudging fashion, the fen acknowledged the return of the sun. The floods withdrew from the pasture, the wheat lifted its pale green spears more sturdily from the black soil, and on the willows the yellow catkins danced like bell-rope sallies. Across the ambiguous beauty of this landscape drove Lord Peter Wimsey, accompanied by a reluctant Bunter. Their return to Fenchurch St. Paul was prompted by Lord Peter's need to give evidence at the inquest on the death of a man found buried in strange circumstances in the village churchyard. But Lord Peter's first appointment was with the superintendent in charge of the investigation.
This is a bad job, this is, my lord. How anyone will be able to identify the body, I can't think. In all my years, I haven't seen nothing quite as nasty as this.
Yes, fascinating, though, don't you think? You see, Blundell, on my way out of Fenchurch St. Paul at New Year, I met a chap calling himself Stephen Driver, and I'm beginning to think he may be the man you found in Lady Thorpe's grave.
The same man, eh?
It might be, I'm not certain. When I met this fellow Driver at New Year, I certainly had the impression that most of his manual work had been done inside the walls of a prison.
Struck you that way, did he? Ever heard of the Wilbraham emeralds, my lord?
Yes, the rector told me about them on my first visit. You think there's a connection? All happened a long time ago, what?
Yes, but you know that Nobby Cranton's out of prison again?
The one who organised the London end of the robbery?
That's right, my lord, as far as we know. At the time, the Thorpe's butler was a man called Jeff Deacon.
Yes, I know that.
Right, my lord. He was in cahoots with Nobby Cranton, and together they cooked up the plan to rob old Mrs. Wilbraham of her emeralds while she was staying at the Thorpe house. Anyway, it seems Nobby ain't reported himself lately. He was last heard of 6 months ago in London. They've been looking for him all over. Well, maybe we found him. Out there in Lady Thorpe's grave.
Maybe indeed.
Any case, I wouldn't be surprised if we was to hear of those emeralds for long. They was never found, you know.
Loud cheers. I'm all for a treasure hunt. This is all confidential, of course, Superintendent.
If you please, my lord. You see, if somebody thought it worthwhile to kill Nobby Cranton and smash him up like that, then there's someone in the village that knows someone. And the less they think we guess, the more free they'll act and speak. They'll talk freer to you than to me, see?
Perfectly. I'm a terrific success at pottering around asking sloppy questions.
Now, Lord Peter, upon departing from Fenchurch St. Paul, that is on the day of January the 1st this year, you met a man on the road near Fenchurch St. Paul who gave his name as Stephen Driver.
Correct. And I had been taken to see the body of the man found in Lady Thorpe's grave, and from my observations, I think it possible that it is the body of the man I saw on January the 1st. I don't know who he was, apart from the fact that he called himself Stephen Driver. He stopped my car and asked me the way to Fenchurch St. Paul.
What makes you think it might be the same man, Lord Peter?
The fact that he is dark and bearded, and that the man I saw also appeared to be wearing a dark suit similar to that worn by the deceased. He seemed to be about 50 years of age and spoke in a fairly low voice with a London accent. He told me he was a motor mechanic and was looking for work. In my opinion...
One moment. You say you recognize the beard and the suit. Can you swear?
No, I cannot say that I definitely recognize them.
You cannot identify his features?
No, they are much too mutilated.
Very well. Thank you. Are there any more witnesses?
Yes, sir.
Well, come right up to the table. Name?
Ezra Wilderspin.
Wilderspin.
Aye.
You're the local blacksmith, I believe.
That's right, sir.
Well, now, Ezra, what have you to say?
Well, sir, if I was to say that I recognise the deceased, I should be telling a lie. But it's a fact that he ain't unlike a chap that came along, same as his lordship here says, last New Year's Day, looking for a job along of me. Said he was a motor mechanic out of work. Well, I told him I might do with a man as knows something about motors, so I takes him on and gives him a trial. He did his work pretty well, near as I could judge, for 3 days, living in our place. Then, all of a sudden, off he goes in the middle of the night. We never seen no more of him.
What night was that?
Same night as they buried her ladyship, it was. January the 4th, that's right, yeah. January the 4th, so it were.
What was the name of this man?
Stephen Driver, he called himself. Didn't say much, only that he'd been tramping about a goodish while, looking for work. Said he'd been in the army, and in and out of work ever since.
Did he give you any references?
Why, yeah, he did, sir, come to think on it. He gave me the name of a garage in London where he'd been, but he said it had gone bankrupt and shut up. But he said if I was to write to the boss, he'd put in a word for him.
Have you got the name and address he gave you?
Yes, sir. Leastways, I think the missus put it away in the teapot.
Did you take up the reference?
No, sir. I did think of it, but being no great hand at writing, I says to myself I'll wait till the Sunday when I'd have more time, like. Well, you see, before that he was off, so I didn't think no more about it. He didn't leave nothing behind him, bar an old toothbrush. We had to lend him an old shirt when he came.
Well, you'd better see if you can find that address.
That's right, sir. Liz, you cut off home, see if you can lay hand on that bit of paper what Driver gave me.
Oh, I got it here, Ezra. Here you are, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Tasker, 103 Little James Street, London, West Central. Here, Superintendent. You'd better take charge of that.
Right, sir.
Now, Ezra, is there anything more you can tell us about this man, Driver?
Oh, I don't know as there is, sir.
Ezra. Ezra, don't you remember all them funny questions he asked?
There now. The missus is right. That was a funny thing about them questions, that was. He said he hadn't ever been in this here village before, but he knowed a friend as had, and the friend had told him to ask after Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas, I said, there ain't no Mr. Thomas in this village. No, he says, Thomas was the name, Batty Thomas. That's right. And another name my friend gave me, he says, was a fellow called Paul, a tailor or something, living next door to him like that. Why, I says to him, your friend's been having a game with you. Them ain't men's names, them's the names of bells. Bells, he says, yes, that says church bells. Batty Thomas and Tailor Paul, they call them. And then he went on asking a sight of questions about them bells. Well, I told him to go see the rector. He knows all about them old bells. I don't know as he ever went to see the rector.
Thank you, Mr. Wilderspin.
Aye.
Now, you are Harry Go-to-Bed, by profession Sexton.
Yes, sir.
And when exactly did you dig the original grave, Lady Thorpe's grave?
I dug it on the 3rd of January, sir, and I filled it on the 4th, immediately after the funeral.
Where do you keep your tools, Harry?
In the cookhouse, sir.
Where's that?
Well, sir, it's down underneath the church, where rector says the old crypt used to be. Makes a sight of work, that it do, carrying the coke up and down those stairs, and through the chancel, sweeping up after it.
Yes, right. Is the door kept locked?
Oh, yes, sir. Always locked.
Where do you keep the keys?
Hanging up in my kitchen, sir.
Has anybody else got a key to the cokehouse door?
Yes, sir. Rector has all the keys.
Nobody else?
Not as I know, sir. Mr. Godfrey, he hasn't them all. Only the keys of the crypt.
I see. When these keys are in your kitchen, I suppose any of your family has access to them?
Well, sir, in a manner of speaking, yes. But I hopes as how you aren't trying to put anything on me and the missus, let alone the children. I've been saxing in this here village for 20 years. None of us ain't ever yet been suspected of hitting strangers over the head and burying of them. Yeah. Come to think of it, this chap Driver, he come round to my place one morning on a message. How do I know he didn't borrow the keys?
Oh, come, Harry, don't talk nonsense. You don't suppose this unfortunate man dug his own grave and buried himself?
That's the good of
Silence, if you please. Nobody's accusing you of anything. Have you, in fact, ever missed the keys at any time?
No, sir.
Or even noticed that your tools had been disturbed?
No, sir.
Very well, that will do. Kindly stand down. Now, Superintendent Blundell, can you tell us what were the dead man's belongings found on the body?
Yes, sir. One suit, navy blue serge of poor quality, much deteriorated by its burial in the earth, but apparently purchased quite recently from a well-known firm of cheap outfitters. One set of vest and pants, badly worn and bearing the name of a French manufacturer. One khaki shirt, British Army type. One pair of working man's boots, nearly new. One cheap spotted tie. In the pockets of the deceased were found the following items. One white cotton handkerchief, one packet of woodbines, 25 shillings and 8 pence in cash, one pocket comb, a 10-centime piece from France, and, that's all.
Thank you, Superintendent Blundell.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I should be obliged if you will answer a few questions, Dr. Baines. You have examined the body of the deceased. Be so kind as to inform us of your conclusions.
I have examined the body of the deceased and made an autopsy. I should judge the subject to be a man aged between 45 and 50. He appears to be well nourished and healthy. I judge that the deceased had been lying in the grave between 3 and 4 months. Decay does not proceed so rapidly in a buried body as in one exposed to the air. In this case, the internal organs were all quite distinguishable and fairly well preserved. I made a careful examination, and I could discover no signs of external injury in any part of the body, except upon the head, arms, wrists, and ankles. The face had apparently been violently battered in with some blunt instrument, which had practically reduced all the anterior, that is, the front of the skull, to splinter. I was not able to form any exact estimate of the number of blows, but they must have been numerous and heavy.
One moment, Doctor. I take it we may assume that the deceased died in consequence of one or some of these blows upon the skull?
No, I do not think the blows were the cause of death.
Why do you say that, Dr. Baines?
Because, to the best of my judgment and belief, all the blows were inflicted after death. The hands were also removed after death, apparently with a short, heavy knife.
Quiet, please. But why should anyone inflict such savage injuries on a dead body?
That is outside my province. I am not a specialist in lunacy or neurosis.
Very well, then. What, in your opinion, was the cause of death?
I do not know. I could not see any superficial sign of disease or injury by poison. I removed, however, certain organs and placed them in sealed jars. I propose dispatching them today for expert examination by Sir James Lubbock.
You mentioned injuries to the arms and ankles, Doctor. What was the nature of those?
The skin of the ankles seems to have been very much broken and abraded, as though the ankles had been tightly bound with cord or rope which had cut through the socks. The arms also showed the pressure marks of a rope above the elbows. These injuries were undoubtedly inflicted before death.
You suggest that somebody tied up the deceased with ropes and then, by some means or other, brought about his death?
I think that the deceased was undoubtedly tied up, either by another person or by himself.
You do not, I suppose, suggest that the deceased went so far as to bury himself?
No, I do not suggest that.
I'm glad to hear it. The deceased might, I suppose, have perished of starvation if he tied himself up and been unable to free himself?
No doubt. Sir James Lubbock's report will tell us that.
Have you anything further to tell us?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you, Doctor. In these circumstances, Superintendent, it seems advisable to adjourn the inquest until you have completed your investigations.
Right, sir.
Gentlemen, we will adjourn until today fortnight.
A beautiful case, Rector. Quite charming. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I'm uncommonly grateful to you for drawing my attention to it. Hello, here's my old friend the blacksmith. How are you, Ezra?
Oh, very well, thank you, me lord. Very unpleasant business, all this here thing with the body.
Oh, indeed, most unpleasant.
Yes, sir.
Will, just a minute.
Rector?
Will, I want you to meet Lord Peter Wimsey. Lord Peter, this is Will Thurday, whose bell you rang on your last visit.
How do you do, Will?
Pleased to meet you, my lord. Very sorry I was to miss that peal, but I was pretty bad, wasn't I, Rector?
You were indeed. You don't look to have got over it yet.
Oh, I'm all right, sir. Except for being troubled by a bit of a cough. That'll pass away now that the spring's here.
Well, you must take care of yourself. How's Mary?
Fine, sir. Thank you. She was coming to this here inquest, but I said 'twasn't no place for a woman. I'm thankful I got her to stop at home.
Yes, the doctor's evidence was very disagreeable. Well, do take care of yourself, Will.
Thank you, Rector. Yes, I will.
Good day, Will. Good day.
Good day, Rector.
A bit white and strained, ain't he? Does he always look like that?
Well, last week I thought he looked better, but it was a very bad bout of influenza that he went down with. In fact, he very nearly fainted at Lady Thorpe's funeral.
Did he, Major?
Yes, strange, really. Will's normally as strong as an ox.
Well.
Mind you, he's rather a nervous subject. You don't expect labourers to have nerves, do you? Ah, well, they're human like the rest of us. Oh, now there is young Hilary Thorpe, poor child. Hilary!
Hello, Mr. Venables.
My dear, I'd like you to meet Lord Peter Wimsey. I'm rather hoping he may provide the police with some help in this unfortunate matter.
How do you do, Miss Thorpe?
I'm ever so glad to meet you, Lord Peter.
Well, I'll leave you in good hands. I've ever such a lot of work to do today. Do you know, I haven't even completed my sermon for Sunday. I'll see you later, Lord Peter.
Most certainly, Padre.
Dad used to read all about your cases, Lord Peter. I think he'd have been frightfully amused to have been mixed up in one himself. But it is a mystery, isn't it? By the way, you know where Dad and Mother are buried, don't you? I expect that was the first place you looked.
Well, yes, it was, actually. But I'd rather like to look at it again. You see, I'm wondering just exactly how the...
How the body got there? Yes,
Yeah.
I was wondering that too. Let's go and have a look, shall we?
Well, if it won't upset you, why not? It's not far. Yes, this is the place. Grave isn't much overlooked, is it? That cottage is the nearest. Whose is that?
Will Thurday's.
Is it? And whose is the farm over there?
Oh, that's Mr. Ashton's place. He's one of the church wardens.
Ah.
What are you looking at? The distance from the south gateway?
Uncomfortably discerning woman. Yes, I was. You could bring the body in a car and carry it round without too much difficulty. What's that over there, close by the north wall of the churchyard? A well?
Yes, that's the well where Harry Gotobed gets the water for washing out the porch and scrubbing the chancel and all that. I think it's rather deep.
I see. Well, if it's used, as you tell me it is, nobody would think of hiding anything large in it.
Oh, you mean the body? No, that wouldn't have done.
Look here, forgive my asking, but supposing your father hadn't died when he did, what kind of tombstone would he have been likely to put up to your mother? Any idea?
None at all. He hated tombstones, and he wouldn't discuss them, poor darling.
So that for all anybody knew, he might have had a flat stone put down, or one of those things with a marble curb round and chips in the middle.
A thing like a fender? Oh, no, he'd never have done that. And certainly not chips. They always reminded him of that fearfully genteel coffee sugar you get at the sort of places where everything's served on mats and all the wine glasses are coloured.
But did the murderer know your father's feelings about coffee sugar and wine glasses?
I'm sorry? I don't know what you're driving at.
No, it's my fault. I'm always so incoherent. I mean, when there are such a lot of good places for putting bodies, dikes and drains and so on, why cart one at great risk and trouble to a churchyard to plant it, where it might easily be dug up by a stonemason smoothing away the earth for a fender full of marble ships? It all seems so odd and rash. Yet, of course, I can see the fascination of the idea. You'd think a grave was about the last place where anybody would look for a stray body.
But it looks as if it must have been done that way because of the rope marks, which tell that the man was tied up somewhere first.
Yes. Yes, it must all have been deliberate and thought out beforehand.
But then the murderer couldn't have thought about it earlier than New Year's Day, when Mother died. I mean, he couldn't have counted on having her grave handy.
No, of course he couldn't. But it may have happened at any time since.
Surely not at any time. Only within a week or so after Mother died.
Why?
Why, because old Go-to-Bed, the sexton, would be certain to notice if anyone had been digging his grave about, after the earth had been firmed up properly. Don't you think it must have happened quite soon? Probably while the wreaths were still on the grave.
I say, that's an idea. I never thought about that. I suppose you've never noticed yourself that the wreaths had been moved or anything?
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, I didn't come here much. I think all this business about graves is hateful. Don't you? But I tell you who would have noticed anything, and that's our housekeeper. She's a perfect ghoul. She ought to be in a Victorian novel where people wear crepe and weep into teacups.
She sounds quite charming. I say, I hope you don't find me ghoulish with all my questions.
No, not in the least bit. You see, I've been doing a lot of wondering ever since they found the body in my mother's grave. It really makes things easier to do a little wondering. I mean, if you're once interested in a thing, it makes it seem less real. That's not the right word, though.
Less personal?
Yes, that's what I mean. You begin to imagine how it all happened, and gradually it gets to feel more like something you've made up.
If that's the way your mind works, you'll be a writer one day.
Do you think so? But that's just what the girls say at school. How did you know? Though they're all idiots. Mostly, that is.
Most people are. But it ain't kind to tell them so. Right, Blundell. Now, let's see what evidence we have at this point.
Not much to go on, my lord.
At the beginning, there never is. Now, what do we know? We know that someone murdered a man and put him into Lady Thorpe's grave. We don't know how the man was killed, but we do know that the murderer didn't want the body recognised because he removed the hands and bashed in the face.
Possibility. The body is that of Nobby Cranton, the London jewel thief who came to Fenchurch St. Paul to look for the emeralds.
Meaning that the Wilbraham emeralds never in fact left the village, but were stashed away here somewhere by Nobby Cranton or Deacon before they were arrested.
But if so, why did Nobby wait till now to make his search? 'Cause he was in prison till lately? Or because some fresh information had reached him?
Next question. If Cranton did come here using the name of Stephen Driver, what is the meaning of his interest in Batty Thomas and Taylor Paul? Is anything to be gained from a study of the bells or their inscriptions?
Oh, I doubt that, my lord.
9 tailors make a man in Christ. Is death in Adam yet began?
I beg pardon, my lord.
I'm so sorry. An inscription on one of the bells, Taylor Paul. Doesn't seem to help much, though, does it? No, what I really want to know, Superintendent, is the relationship between Jeff Deacon and Nobby Cranton. How did a servant in a small village in the Fens get in touch with a London jewel thief? Because a lot seems to turn on that.
So it does, my lord. The trouble is, we've only got their words to go on, and which was the bigger liar, the Lord God only knows. Deacon was the superior of the two, to my mind. A great reader he was. In fact, the chaplain down at Maidstone Jail said the Deacon was quite a remarkable scholar in his own way, with a poetic imagination, as he put it, whatever that may be exactly.
No doubt at the trial, each one blamed the other.
That's it, my lord. Of course, both their stories were pretty thin. In the end, the judge gave Jeff Deacon 8 years penal servitude and told him he was lucky to get off with that. Nobby Cranton got 10 years.
But Deacon escaped, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Made a brutal attack on a warder. The warder died, and of course the whole place was scoured for Deacon without success. Then, 2 years later, his bones turned up in a wood in North Kent. He was still in his convict clothes, and his skull was smashed in, so it looked like he tumbled into a gully during the night, probably only a day or two after his escape. And that was the end of him.
Nobby Cranton's been in and out of prison since then, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. Came out again last June.
I see. And what's your opinion, Blundell? Did Deacon ever hand over the emeralds to Nobby Cranton?
Well, it's my belief that Deacon had the necklace, but what he did with it, I'm damned if I know. You'd like to see Nobby's photograph?
Oh, rather. When was it taken?
About 4 years ago, my lord, when he went up for his last sentence. That's the latest we have.
Ah, he had no beard then. Yes, well, I can't be positive, but I think this is the man I saw on New Year's Day as I was driving out of Fenchurch St. Paul. Have you shown this photograph to any of the people in the village? Someone might recognise it as the same man who called himself Stephen Driver and asked all those damn strange questions about the bells.
I've tried, my lord, but there's not one person in 100 can swear to a likeness between a bearded face and one that's clean-shaven.
Ah, that's true. Defeat thy favour with an usurped beard. And, of course, you couldn't take the body's fingerprints since he had no hands.
No, my lord. And that's the sort of argument, in a way, for its being Nobby Cranton.
Well, if the body is Cranton, I suppose he came here to look for the emeralds and grew a beard so he shouldn't be recognised by any of the local people who'd seen him in court.
That's about it, my lord. It's my bet that the body in the grave is Nobby Cranton.
Maybe, Superintendent, maybe. But even so, we are still left with one tiny problem.
What's that, my lord?
Well, if it is Cranton, we still don't know who killed him or why.
Lord Peter Wimsey sat on a large, flat tombstone in the churchyard of Fenchurch St. Paul. He was seated in a reflective manner, meditating on the mystery of the mutilated and unidentified corpse found in Lady Thorpe's grave. There was little evidence to go on, but he felt increasingly certain that the discovery of the body was connected with the theft of the Wilbraham emeralds from the Thorpe family more than 10 years previously. One tenuous connection was Will Thoday, married to Mary, whose first husband was one of the 2 men convicted for the robbery. But the emeralds had never been found. And now Will Thoday's explanations of his movements on the night the body was buried were looking increasingly suspect. Such were the thoughts occupying Lord Peter's mind as Superintendent Blundell dismounted from his bicycle at the entrance to the churchyard.
Morning, my lord.
Ah, Blundell, just the man. Come along here a moment.
I just had a chat with the Thorpe's housekeeper, my lord. I even interviewed some of the school children. It definitely looks as if someone was at the grave after Lady Thorpe's funeral. The housekeeper's wreath had been all moved around. Most upset she was, and, excuse me, my lord. Hope you don't mind my asking, but what exactly are you doing?
I thought you'd never ask, Superintendent. Well, I expect you're puzzled by my appearance in a graveyard carrying a fishing rod and line.
Matter of fact, I am, my lord, yes. I thought that Potty Peak was the only person who actually enjoyed sitting around in graveyards.
Well, you're wrong. Are you busy, or have you got time to look at something?
I was going along to talk to Will Thody, but there's no great hurry for that.
Well, hold this while I attach some lead sinkers.
What in the world are you thinking of catching with that? A whale?
Eels. Unless eels swim deeper than ever plummet sounded.
Eels?
Now, come with me, Superintendent.
Right you are, my lord.
I borrowed the keys of the church from the rector. He'd mislaid them, of course, but they turned up eventually among the clothing cupboard accounts. Now, I've been chatting with the rector, and he tells me that a complete set of new bell ropes was put in last December.
Oh,
Now, these are old ones, kept handy in case of sudden catastrophe. Very neatly coiled and stowed. This whopper belongs to Tailor Paul. Lift them out carefully. 80 feet or so of rope is apt to be a bit entangling if let loose on the world. Betty Thomas, Dimity, Jubilee, John Jericho's Habaoth. But where is little Gowdy? Where and oh where is she, with her Sally cut short and her rope cut long? Where and oh where can she be?
It's a puzzle, my lord.
Oh, there's nothing left in the chest but the leather buffets and a few rags and an oil can. No rope for Gowdy.
What about the stove?
Not in the stove. First thought, of course. If the burying was done on a Saturday, the stoves would be alight, but they'd be banked down for the night, and it would have been deuced awkward if our friend the Sexton...
Mr. Go-to-bed.
Just so. If Mr. Go-to-bed had raked out anything unusual on Sunday morning. No, I don't think that was where the rope went. I hope not, anyway. I think the murderer used the rope to carry the body by and didn't remove it till he got to the graveside. Now let's go fishing.
You mean in the well, my lord?
The well. Now then, up with the cover. Right. Well, half a jiff, we'll sacrifice half a brick to the water gods. Oh, not so very deep. Well, if we lay the ladder over the mouth of the well, we shall get a straight pull. Righty-ho, that's the idea. Now then.
Careful, my lord.
Don't you worry about me, I know what I'm doing. Now, down with the line. Cold, dank and stagnant. Nasty smell, too, what? Splosh. There. I've got an eel to catch, oh, catch me. Aha! A bite, Superintendent, a bite. What's the method? It's an old boot. Hardly seems heavy enough to be a rope. Never mind, we shall see what we shall see. Up she comes. Hello, what's this? Not a boot, but the next thing to it, a hat. Now then, Super, did you measure the head of the corpse?
Yes, my lord, of course.
Oh, then we shan't need to dig him up again to see if his hat fits. Exhibit 1. Put it aside to dry. And down she goes again. I never knew that fishing could be such fun. Never tried it yourself, Super?
Not since I were a boy, my lord. Never seemed to have much time for it, somehow.
Well, you should make time, you know, make time. You've no idea how soothing it can be for the nerves. Well, let's see if we've got anything this time. Perhaps another fiddler, what? Nice. Hey, what's this?
Looks like a German sausage.
No, it ain't, by Jove, it's a Sally. Ho, little Gowdy's Sally. And where the Sally is, the rest will be. Ups-a-daisy. Got it. There now. There is your eel, Super, all of a tangle.
Not all here.
No, probably not. But this is one of the bits that was used to do the tying. He's cut it loose, you see, and left the knots in.
Yes, you better not touch the knots, my lord. They might tell us something about who tied them.
Take care of the knots, the noose will take care of itself, huh? Yeah. Right you are. Well, here we go again. Let's get the other pieces.
Well, that seems to be the last piece. Not very expert work. Arms and legs tied separately, I'd say. Then the body tied up to something or other and the slack cut off. Well, my lord, this is a very interesting discovery of yours. But it's a bit of a facer, isn't it? Puts rather a different complexion on the crime, eh?
You're right, Super. Well, one must face up to things, as the lady said when she went to have hers lifted.
What the... It's Potty Peak. What the devil do you want here, Potty?
Oh, nothing. Oh, I don't want nothing. How are you going to hang with that there, mister? That's a rope, that is. They got 8 of them hanging in the tower over there. There's number 9 a-coming. And that's a rope to hang 'em by. 8 tailors in the tower, but there ought to be 9. He's waiting for the 9 tailors.
Now go on, hop it. Don't let me catch you hanging round here again.
Good day, sir. Day, mister. I got to feed the pigs. That's Potty's work. Yes, that's right. They pigs did ought to be fed.
Off you go then, Potty.
Morning, sir. Morning, mister.
There. You go telling everybody about this rope he's got hanging on the brain. Ever since he found his mother hanging in the cowhouse when he were a kid. Well, can't be helped. I'll get these things taken along to the station.
Well, Brundle, I shall make my way over to the Ashtons and find out what they made of Will Thowday's behaviour at New Year.
I think that could be most useful, my lord. As for me, I'm going to have another talk with the Thowdays themselves. Maybe find out exactly what they were doing on the night that body was dumped in the churchyard. You had a pretty stiff time of it, didn't you, Will? Delirious and all that kind of thing, I'll lay.
Very bad he was that night. Kept on trying to get out of his bed and go to church.
Oh?
He thought they was ringing the peal without him. Though I kept on telling him that was all rung and finished with New Year's Day. Terrible job I had with him, and nobody to help me. Will's brother, Jim, was a great help while he was here, but he had to go back to his ship.
Our mate on a merchantman, isn't he? How's he getting along? You heard from him lately?
We had a postcard last week from Hong Kong, but he didn't say much. He hasn't sent nothing but postcards this voyage.
When do you expect him back?
Not for I don't know when. Not if trade's decent, that is. You see, his ship don't make regular trips. She follows cargoes from port to port wherever there's anything to be picked up.
So you didn't happen to see anything going on at the church from your bedroom window that night? No lights moving about, nothing of that kind?
I told you I didn't move from Will's bedside all night. He was so ill, if I left him a minute, he'd be throwing the clothes off, trying to get up. When it wasn't the peal, it was that old trouble with the Wilbraham emeralds. He was all muddled up in his head, thinking that dreadful trial was on and he had to stand by me.
That'll do. I won't have you fretting yourself about that old business no more.
I'm not blaming you, Will.
And I won't have nothing more said about it in my house. What do you want to come worrying her this way, Mr. Blundell? She's told you as she don't know a thing about this here chap that was buried. That's all there is to it. What I may have said and done when I was ill don't matter ill a beans.
Not a scrap. No, I'm very sorry such an illusion should have come up, I'm sure. Well, I won't keep you any longer. You can't assist me, and that's all there is to it. Now, I'll be off and let the youngsters come back to their tea. I know what it's like, having children of my own.
Mr. Ashton, I believe you were the Good Samaritan who brought poor Will Thowday back from Walbeach the day he was taken ill.
Very fortunate we happened to see him. Very bad weather for a sick man. Dangerous thing, influenza.
Dreadful. Poor man. He was quite reeling with it when he came out of the bank. I said to Mr. Ashton, how terrible bad poor Will do look, to be sure. I'm sure he's not fit to go home. And sure enough, we hadn't got but a mile or so out of the town when we saw his car drawn up by the side of the road, and him quite helpless. Quite helpless. And out of his head he was, counting them notes over and dropping them all over the place. Now, Will, I said, just you put them notes back in your pocket and keep quiet, and we'll drive you home.
He was in a bad condition, that's certain.
What he ever wanted to come out for in such weather, I can't think. And I said to Mr. Ashton...
you make a lot of talk, Maria.
Oh, that's true enough. I do let my tongue run on a bit, I'll allow. His lordship must excuse me.
Not at all. In a quiet place like this, if one doesn't talk about one's neighbours, what is there to talk about? And the Thowdays are really your only neighbours, aren't they? I'll be bound when Will was laid up, you did a good bit of the nursing, Mrs. Ashton, right?
Not as much as I'd have liked. My daughter was took ill at the same time. I managed to run in now and again, of course. But what with being up half the night with my daughter and wondering whether...
Now that's interesting. I don't suppose you saw anything strange in the churchyard, did you? Lights moving, anything of that sort?
There now. Always thought as there might be something in that tale as little Rosie Thorday told her Paula.
What tale was that?
Foolish nonsense. Foolish nonsense. Ghosts and whatnot.
Well, anyway, it was a good time ago now. When would that be, Luke? End of January, maybe, near enough? Well, call it end of January. Our Paula comes on the Thorday children sitting together under the hedge just outside their place. Both of them crying. Then it comes out that they're afraid to go past the churchyard in the dark, and Rosa Thorday says it's because she's seen what she took to be the spirit of Lady Thorpe a-flitting about her grave. And it seems the night she see it was the night of the funeral.
Oh, dear me. What exactly did she see?
Oh, no more than a light by what Polly could make out. That was one of the nights Will Thorday was very bad, and it seems that Rosa was up and about helping her Martha, and she looked out of the window and sees the light just a-rising out where the grave would be. Well, of course, our Paula told Rosie couldn't have been Lady Thorpe's spirit, for that were at rest. And she said Rosie must have seen the sexton's lantern. But it couldn't well have been that, for by what the child said, it was 1 o'clock in the morning past that Rosie see the light. Dear me and all. I'm sure if I'd have known then what I know now, I'd have paid more attention to her.
Lord Peter, would you like a glass of milk or a whisky and soda?
Mm-hmm.
Or a cup of beef tea?
No, thank you, Mrs. Venables. Most kind of you.
Oh, dear. What are those? Oh, they're...
Undergarments, Mrs. Venables. The undergarments worn by the unfortunate man found in Lady Thorpe's grave. Now, there is something very curious about them, Mrs. Venables.
Yes?
You see, the underclothing is French, but the shirt and trousers are English. What's more, the underclothes have been repaired and darned many times. Look, patches have been let in here and here.
Well, people have to make economies.
Ah, indeed. But why should Nobby Cranton, if it was Nobby Cranton, be wearing what appears to be second-hand French underclothing, but new English outer garments?
I'm sure I don't know. I only hope you won't catch anything from them. I'm sure they can't be healthy.
No, I don't expect to get anything worse than brain fever. Well, perhaps you can suggest an explanation.
Well, I'm afraid I'm not a Sherlock Holmes. I should think the man must have had a very good, hard-working wife, but I can't say more.
But that doesn't explain why he should get his underclothes in France.
The only thing I can think of is that he got his English clothes as a disguise. You said he came here in disguise, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, as nobody would see his underneaths, he didn't bother to change them.
But that would mean that he came from France.
Well, perhaps he did. Perhaps he was a Frenchman. They often wear beards, don't they?
But the man I met wasn't a Frenchman.
But you don't know he was the man you met. He may have been someone quite different.
Well, he may.
He didn't bring any other clothes with him, I suppose.
No, not a thing. He was just a tramping out of work, or so he said. All he brought was an old British trench coat, which he took with him, and a toothbrush. He left that behind him. Can we wangle a bit of evidence out of that, do you think? Can we say that he must have been murdered because, well, if he'd merely wandered away, he would have taken his toothbrush with him? And if he was the corpse, where is his coat? For the corpse had no coat.
I can't imagine. And that reminds me, do be careful when you go down the bottom of the garden. The rooks are building and they are so messy. I should wear a hat if I were you. Or there's always an old umbrella in the summer house. Did he leave his hat behind, too?
In a sense he did, yes. We found that in rather a queer place, but it doesn't help us very much.
Oh, how tiresome it all is. I'm sure you'll wear your brains right out with these problems. You mustn't overdo yourself. And the butcher says he has some nice calf's liver today, only I don't know if you can eat it.
I love calf's liver, Mrs. Venables.
Oh, good. Theodore is very fond of liver and bacon, though I always think it's rather rich. What I've been meaning to say, it's very good of that nice man-servant of yours to clean the silver and the brass so beautifully, but he really shouldn't have troubled. I'm quite used to giving Emily a hand with it.
He'd have been delighted to help, I'm sure.
Oh, well, I hope it isn't very dull for him here. I understand he's a great acquisition in the kitchen and extraordinarily good at music hall imitations, twice as good as the talkies cook says.
Is he indeed? I'd no idea. But what I don't know about Bunter, Mrs. Venables, would fill a book. Bunter, will you kindly get the car out immediately and accompany me on a short journey?
Very good, my lord. There is a fresh breeze, my lord.
All the better.
Certainly, my lord. If I may venture to say so, the tweed cap or the grey felt would possibly be better suited to the climatic conditions.
Hmm? Oh, yes, possibly all right, Bunter. Pray restore this excellent hat to its proper place. And if you should see Mrs. Venables, give her my compliments and say that I found its protection invaluable.
Of course, my lord.
Oh, and Bunter, I rely on you to keep a check upon your Don Juan fascination and not strew the threshold of friendship with the wreckage of broken hearts.
Very good, my lord.
Now, we're going to try a long shot, Bunter, and we will begin with the small town of Leamholt. Well, what news, Bunter?
The 3 young ladies in the post office conducted a most careful search, but I regret, my lord, that they could find no letter awaiting collection by a Mr. Stephen Driver.
Ah, well, never mind. Leamholt is the post town, so I thought we ought to give it the first chance. The other possibilities are Hullport and Walbeach on this side of the drain. Hullport is a long way off and rather unlikely. So I think we will try Walbeach. It's a direct road from here. At least as direct as any fen road ever is. I suppose God could have made a sillier animal than a sheep, but it's very certain that he never did. Unless it's a cow. Come on there, hup, 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 hey, hup. Oh, get along with you, Jemima. Hup, hup, hey, hup, hey. Now, if this place had been drained intelligently by running all the canals into the rivers instead of the rivers into the canals, Walbeach might still be a port, and the landscape would look rather less like a crazy quilt.
Just so, my lord.
Ah, here's the place we met Cranton. If it was Cranton, that is. By the way, I wonder if that fellow at the sluice saw anything of it.
Shall I,
Yeah, let's stop and find out. I love dawdling around locks. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Very picturesque. Very pretty. Do you ever get artists and painters along here to paint it?
Well, I don't know as I do. No.
Ah. Some of those piers would be none the worse for a bit of stone and mortar, what? And the gates look pretty ancient.
Ah, I believe you. Now, this here sluice has been needing repairs over a matter of 20 years now, and more.
And why don't they do it?
Well, nobody knows whose job this here sluice is. Seemingly.
But suppose you've got a lot of water up this way. Would the gates stand it?
Well, they might and they mightn't. We don't get much water up here these days.
You will, though, when they finish the new wash cut.
Ah, so they say. I don't know. Some say it won't be no different. And some say as it'll drown the land round about Walbeach.
It seems ridiculous not to rebuild the gates. With all this unemployment about, too. Do you get many of the unemployed tramping round this way?
Times we do, times we don't.
I remember meeting a chap along the bank last time I was down here, on New Year's Day. I thought he looked a bit of a tough nut.
Oh, him? Yes, well, he got took on at Ezra Wilderspin's place, but he soon had enough of that. Didn't want to do no work. Half on 'em don't.
I suppose he'd come from Walbeach.
I suppose I had, yes. He said so anyhow. Said he'd been trying to get work on the wash cut.
Did he? He told me he was a motor mechanic.
Ah, well, they'd say anything.
He looked as if he'd worked a good bit with his hands. Why shouldn't there be work for men on the cut? That's what I was saying.
Yes, sir. Well, that's easy to say them things.
Well, I still think they ought to be able to absorb some of these men and give you a fresh set of gates. However, it's none of my business, and I'll have to be pushing along. Good luck to you.
Today? New gates? Ah, new gates. Huh.
Right. Let us continue on our way to Walbeach, where my intuition may or may not bear fruit. You, Bunter, will once again be in the vanguard, while I shall sit in the car and contemplate the joys of life in the Fen country.
Yes, my lord. Very good, my lord.
What luck this time, old lad?
Quickly, my lord.
What's up?
Better move on quickly, my lord, because while the manoeuvre has been attended with a measure of success, it is possible that I have robbed His Majesty's mails by obtaining a packet under false pretences.
What have you been doing, Bunter?
Well, my lord, I inquired as instructed for a letter addressed to Mr. Stephen Driver, post restaurant, which might have been lying here some time. When the young person inquired how long a time, I replied, according to our previous arrangement, that I had intended to visit Walbeach a few weeks ago, but had been prevented from doing so that I understood that an important letter had been forwarded to me at this address under a misapprehension.
Very good, Bunter. All according to Cocker.
The young person, my lord, then opened a species of safe or locker and searched in it, and after the expiration of a considerable period, turned round with a letter in her hand and inquired what name I had said.
Yes, these girls are very bird-witted. It would have been more surprising if she hadn't asked you to repeat the name.
Quite so, my lord. I said, as before, that the name was Stephen or Steve Driver, but at the same time I observed from where I was standing that the letter in her hand bore a blue stamp. There was only the counter between us, and as you are well aware, my lord, I am favoured with excellent sight.
Let us always be thankful for blessings, Bunter.
I hope I may say that I always am, my lord. On seeing the blue stamp, I added quickly, calling to mind the circumstances of the case, that the letter had been posted in France.
Very good indeed.
The young person, my lord, appeared to be puzzled by this remark. She said in a doubtful tone that there was a letter from France which had been lying in the post office, but it was addressed to another person.
Oh, hell.
Yes, my lord. That thought passed through my own mind. I said, are you quite sure, miss, that you have not mistaken the handwriting? I'm happy to say, my lord, that the young person, being young and no doubt inexperienced, succumbed to this somewhat elementary strategy. She answered immediately, "Oh, no, it's as plain as print. M. Paul Taylor." At that point...
Paul Taylor? Why, that was the name of the man Driver said he was looking for.
Precisely, my lord. As I was about to say, at that point it was necessary to act promptly. I said at once, "Paul Taylor, why, that is the name of my chauffeur." No disrespect, my lord, but in the momentary agitation of my spirits, my lord, I was not in a position to think as quickly or as clearly as I should have wished.
Bunter, I warn you that I'm growing dangerous. Will you say at once, yes or no, did you get that letter?
Yes, my lord, I did.
Ah, excellent, Bunter. Well, it's all very illegal either way, but we'll get Blundell to put it right for us. I'd have suggested his doing it himself, but it was such a shot at a venture that I didn't think he'd gotten to it. And I didn't have a devil of a lot of faith in it myself. Anyway, it was my jolly old idea, and I wanted us to have the fun of it ourselves.
My lord, I really...
Now, don't start apologising anymore, Bunter. You are perfectly brilliant in two places, and I am as bucked as hell.
Oh, well, thank you very much, my lord.
And under the circumstances, we are now going straight to the Cat and Fiddle, where the port is remarkable and the claret not to be despised, to celebrate our deed of darkness and daring-do.
It may, of course, not be...
Not the right letter? Rot. It is the right letter, Bunter. It's damn well got to be the right letter.
Wimsey and Bunter, having deceived the post office into handing over a letter addressed to one Paul Taylor, established themselves in the dark old upper room of the Cat and Fiddle. Lord Peter was convinced that the letter could provide a vital clue to the mystery of the unidentified body in the local churchyard. The visit to Fenchurch St. Paul, that had begun with a strenuous night of bell-ringing, had led to Lord Peter's return to the Fen country in an attempt to solve the mystery. The evidence suggested that the body might well be that of Nobby Cranton, a London jewel thief, involved 10 years previously in the theft of the Wilbraham emeralds from the home of the Thorpe family. It seemed reasonable to assume that he had returned to Fenchurch to recover the emeralds, which had never been found after Cranton was sent to prison. But as to who might have killed Cranton, and why they should find it necessary to mutilate the body, that remained as unclear as ever. But in the upper room of the Cat and Fiddle, the mood was triumphant, and, as Lord Peter quite properly pointed out, the port remarkable, and the claret not to be despised.
Some more wine, my lord.
Thank you, waiter. Bit quiet here today, ain't it?
Oh, yes, sir. Things is very quiet, but not as quiet as they used to be, sir. The men working on the wash cut make a difference to the town.
Haven't they finished that yet?
Oh, nearly finished, sir. They say it'll be opened in June. It'll be a good thing, so they say, and improve the draining very much. It's hoped as it will scour the river out 10 feet more and take the tide up again to the head of the 30-foot drain, like it was in the old days by what they tell us.
Oh, I see.
They brought the cut to within a mile of the town now, sir, and there's to be a great opening in June with a gala and a cricket match and sports for the young people, sir. And they say as they're asking the Duke of Denver to come down and open the cut. Oh, but we haven't heard yet if he'll come.
He'll come, all right. Dash it, he shall come. He does no work, and it will do him good.
Indeed, sir. It would be much appreciated in the town if he were to come.
I'll make a point of jogging old Denver up to do his duty. We'll all come. Great fun. Denver shall present gold cups to all the winners, and I will present silver rabbits to all the losers. And with luck, somebody will fall into the river.
That will be very gratifying, sir. Thank you, sir.
Did you know, Bunter, that my family have frequently accused me of being unrestrained and wanting in self-control?
Indeed, sir. Most extraordinary.
How little they know me. For instance, instead of opening Mr. Paul Taylor's letter at once, I reserve it for Superintendent Blundell. And instead of rushing off post-haste to Superintendent Blundell, I remain quietly at Walbeach and eat roast mutton. Now, the envelope bears a postmark which is only half decipherable, but which I make out to be something ending in Y in the department of either Marne or Seine-et-Marne. A district endeared to many by the recollection of mud, blood, shell holes and trench feet.
Ah, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
The ink and pen mean little, for I've never yet encountered in any part of France a pen and ink with which any normal person could write comfortably. But the handwriting is suggestive because, owing to the system of state education in that country, though all the French write vilely, it is rare to find one who writes very much more vilely than the rest. The date is obscure, but since we know the time of arrival, we may guess the time of dispatch. Now, can we deduce anything further from this envelope? What do you say, Bunter?
If I may be allowed to say so, my lord, it is possibly a little remarkable that the name and address of the sender does not appear on the back.
That is well observed, Bunter. Yes, you may have full marks for that. The French, as you have no doubt often noticed, seldom head their letters with an address as we do in England, though they occasionally write at the foot some such useless indication as Paris or Lyon, without adding the number of the house or the name of the street. They do, however, frequently place these necessary indications on the flap of the envelope, in the hope that the address may be thrown into the fire and irrevocably lost before the letter is answered or even read.
It has sometimes occurred to me, my lord, to be surprised at that habit.
Well, no matter. I say this is very excellent port. Be good enough to finish the bottle, Bunter, because it would be a pity to waste it. And if I have any more, I shall be too sleepy to drive.
Right. Monsieur Marie. What's that mean, my lord?
My dear husband.
I never knew that Nobby Cranton was... Dash it, where does Cranton come into this? I never heard of it having any wife at all, let alone a French one.
My dear Blundell, we don't know that Cranton comes into it at all. He came to Fenchurch St. Paul and asked for a Mr. Paul Taylor. This, presumably, is addressed to the Paul Taylor he was asking for.
But they said Paul Taylor was a belle.
Taylor Paul is a belle, but Paul Taylor may be a person.
Who is he, then?
Oh, God knows. Someone with a wife in France.
And the other chap, Batty or something, is he a person?
No, he's a belle, but he may be a person, too.
Well, they can't both be persons, not reasonable. And where is this Paul Taylor, anyhow?
Perhaps he was the corpse.
Well, where's Cranton? They can't both be the corpse. That's not reasonable either.
Oh, possibly Cranton gave one name to Ezra Wilderspin when he took a job with him as a motor mechanic, and gave another to his correspondent.
Then what did he mean by asking for Paul Taylor at Fenchurch St. Paul?
Perhaps that was the bell after all.
Just see here, my lord, doesn't seem reasonable to me. This Paul Taylor, or Taylor Paul, can't be both a bell and a person, at least not both at once. It sounds, well, kind of batty to me.
Why bring Batty into it? Batty is a bell. Taylor Paul is a bell. Paul Taylor is a person, because he gets a letter. You can't send letters to a bell. If you did, you'd be Batty. Oh, bother.
Well, I don't understand it. Stephen Driver, now he's a person too. You don't say he's a bell, do you? What I want to know is which of them all is Nobby Cranton. Oh, you dash it all, my lord. Let's read the bloomin' letter. You might read it out in English, would you? My French's a bit off these days.
My dear husband, you told me not to write to you without great urgency. But 3 months are past, and I have no news of you. I am very anxious, asking myself if you have not been taken by the military authorities. You have assured me that they could not now have you shot, the war being over so long ago. But it is known that the English are very strict. Write, I beseech you, a little word to say that you are safe. It begins to be very difficult to do the work of the farm alone, and we have had great trouble with the spring sowing. Also, the red cow is dead. Little Pierre helps me as much as he can, but he is only 9. Little Marie has had the whooping cough, I think, and the baby also. I beg your pardon if I am indiscreet to write to you, but I am very much troubled. Pierre and Marie send kisses to their papa, your loving wife, Suzanne.
Little Pierre, 9-year-old, kisses to their papa, and the red cow's dead. 9 years ago, Cranton was in jail.
Stepfather, perhaps?
Spring sowing? Since when has Cranton turned farmer? And what's all that about military authorities and the war? Cranton never was in the war. Something here I can't make head nor tail of. See here, my lord, this can't be Nobby Cranton. No, this letter wasn't written to Cranton.
It begins to look as if it wasn't. But I still think it was Cranton I met on New Year's Day.
Well, I'd best get on the telephone to London, and then I'll have to be seeing the chief constable about this. Whatever it is, it's got to be followed up.
Ah, Bunter.
Yes, my lord.
Do you recall, Bunter, a young lady by the name of Hilary Thorpe?
Yes, my lord, I do. A most agreeable young lady, the daughter of Sir Henry.
Correct. Well, I've just received a letter from her, enclosing with it a piece of paper which she found in the belfry of the church on the Saturday before Easter Day. She forgot about it and has only now decided to pass it on to me. I should be grateful if you would read it, Bunter. It's causing me some confusion.
I thought to see the fairies in the fields, but I saw only the evil elephants with their black backs. Woe, how that sight awed me. The elves danced all around and about, while I heard voices calling clearly. Ah, how I tried to see, throw off the ugly cloud, but no blind eye of a mortal was permitted to spy them. So then came minstrels, having gold trumpets, harps and drums. These played very loudly beside me, breaking that spell. So the dream vanished, whereat I thanked heaven. I shed many tears before the thin moon rose up, frail and faint as a sickle of straw. Now, though the enchanter gnash his teeth vainly, yet shall he return as the spring return. O wretched man, hell gapes. Erebus now lies open. The mouths of death wait on thy end.
Excellently read, Bunter. Oh, what do you make of it? Is it a lost work by Sir James Barrie?
Well, my lord, I should say it was written by a person of no inconsiderable literary ability who had studied the works of Sheridan Le Fanu, and was, if I may be permitted the expression, bats in the belfry, my lord.
It strikes you that way? It doesn't look to you like a cipher message or anything of that kind?
It had not occurred to me to regard it in that light, my lord. The style is cramped, certainly, but it's cramped in what I should call a consistent manner, suggestive of literary rather than mechanical effort.
True, Bunter, true. It certainly ain't anything simple or bucolic of the every third word type. And it doesn't look as if it was meant to be read with a grid, because with the possible exception of gold, there ain't a single word in it that's significant. That bit about the moon is rather good, of its kind. Mannered, but imaginative. Frail and faint as a sickle of straw. Alliteration's artful, what? Lefanu, did you say? It's not a bad shot, Bunter. It reminds me a little of that amazing passage in Wilder's Hand about Uncle Lorne's dream.
That was the passage I had in mind, my lord.
Curious, Bunter mine, very curious. Ah, by the way, you'll find in the cupboard of your room an empty beer bottle of the quart variety.
Indeed, my lord?
Yes. I went up to the belfry again for a look round and found it parked away in a corner. Strange place for a beer bottle, what? So I wrapped it in a handkerchief and shall have it sent to London for a fingerprint check. Be so good as to see to that, will you, Bunter?
Yes, my lord. I shall attend to it first thing tomorrow morning.
Well, my lord, I'm glad to say that we've already had a response from the French police in response to our inquiries.
Remarkable.
Looks like they found the writer of the letter. It's a woman by the name of Susan Legrosse. It's been worked on by a Monsieur le Commissaire Rosier of Chateau somewhere or other in the department of Marne.
Excellent. Well, I think that ought to be followed up at once, don't you agree, Bundle?
Oh, yes, my lord. All depends, really, on who the Chief Constable decides to send to France.
Yes. Do you speak French yourself, Bundle?
Well, not to say speak it, my lord. I could order a spot of grub and maybe swear at the garçon a bit, but examining witnesses...
Quite a different question.
Yes.
Indeed. Of course, if the Chief Constable were to entrust the inquiry to me, I could pop over in 2 takes. At my own expense, of course.
Afraid he might consider that a bit irregular, my lord.
Well, my Fench is my strong point, don't you know? And I really think that in these hard times we ought to consider the public purse, don't you?
Well, there is that, of course.
Nous y voici. Please, do sit down.
Thank you.
It does not in any way astonish me, my lord, to receive an inquiry concerning the husband of Suzanne Legros. It is evident that there is a formidable mystery. For 10 years I have said to myself, Aristide Rosier, the day will come when your premonitions concerning the so-called Jean Legros will be justified. I perceive that the day is at hand, and I congratulate myself upon my foresight.
Well, evidently, Monsieur le Commissaire possesses a keen intelligence.
Now, to lay the matter clearly before you, I'm obliged to go back to the summer of 1918. My lord will remember the retreat over the Marne in July. The retreating armies were swept back across the Marne in disorder and passed through the little village of Épernay. In that village lived the aged Pierre Legros and his granddaughter Suzanne. Suzanne was 27 at the time. About 10 days after the retreat, it was reported that Suzanne Legros and her grandfather had a visitor at the farm, and the police found a sick and wounded man being kept there. Upon being interrogated, Suzanne Legros and her grandfather told a singular story. She said that on the second night after the retreat had passed through the village, she went to a distant outhouse, and there found this man, sick and burning with fever, stripped to his underclothing with his head roughly bandaged. He was dirty and blood-stained, and his clothes were bedaubed with mud and weeds as though he had been in the river. She showed the clothing in which she had found him, a vest, underpants, socks, and a shirt of regulation army pattern, very much stained and torn. No uniform, no boots, no identity disc, no papers.
It was therefore assumed, I presume, that he had abandoned his clothes when forced to swim across a river during the retreat.
Exactly. He seemed to be a man of some 35 or 40 years of age, and when first seen by the authorities, he had a dark beard of about a week's growth.
Then he had been clean-shaven?
It would seem so, my lord.
I see.
Well, the man remained unconscious in a coma for almost 3 weeks. When he slowly regained consciousness, it was found that his memory, and for some time his speech also, was gone. But gradually the speech was regained, though for some time he could express himself only in a thick, mumbling manner with many hesitations. He claimed to remember nothing of the past, but nothing. He did not know his name or his place of origin. He had a life which began only in the farmhouse at Épernay. Well, of course, his description was circulated to the French army and the British army, but without result. And after the armistice, even to Germany, but still without any success.
Most remarkable case.
We thought so too, my lord. He was taken to several hospitals and examined by psychologists, but they could make nothing of him. Oh, they tried to set traps for him. They suddenly shouted out words of command to him in English or French or German, thinking that he might display an automatic reaction, but it was to no purpose. He seemed to have completely forgotten the war.
Lucky devil.
Oui, je suis de votre avis, but nevertheless some kind of reaction would have been satisfying.
Indeed.
Eventually, old man Legros asked leave to adopt the man as his son. Oh, there were difficulties, but enfin, since something had to be done with the man, and he was quiet and well-behaved and gave no trouble, the consent was obtained. He was adopted under the name of Jean Legros, and papers were made out for him. Eventually, the civil authorities washed their hands of the whole matter, and Suzanne Legros ended up marrying this Jean, and their eldest son is now 9 years of age.
You said in your letter, Monsieur Rosier, that Jean Legros has now disappeared.
Since 5 months, my lord. It is said that he is in Belgium buying pigs, cattle, I know not what, but he has not returned, and his wife is very concerned. You think you may have some information about him?
Well, we have a corpse and we have a name. But if this Jean Legros has conducted himself in the manner you describe, then the name is not his, though the corpse may be. For the man whose name we have was in prison in 1918 and for some years afterwards.
Ah, then you have no further interest in Monsieur Legros?
Oh, on the contrary. An interest of the most profound. We still have the corpse.
Ah, à la bonne heure. A corpse is always something. Have you any photographs, any measurements, any marks of identification?
The photograph will assuredly be of little use, since the corpse, when found, was 4 months old and the face had been much battered. Moreover, his hands have been removed at the wrists. But we have measurements and 2 medical reports. From the latest of these, recently received from a London expert, it appears that the scalp bears the mark of an old scar, in addition to those recently inflicted.
Aha! That is perhaps some confirmation. He was then killed by being beaten on the head, your unknown.
No. All the head injuries were inflicted after death. The expert opinion confirms that of the police surgeon on this point.
He died then of what?
Ah, there is the mystery. There's no sign of a fatal wound, or of poison, or of strangling, nor yet of disease. The heart was sound, the intestines show that he had not died of starvation. Indeed, he was well nourished and had eaten a few hours before his death.
Tja. And apoplexy, then?
Ah, it's possible. The brain, you understand, was in a somewhat putrefied condition. It's difficult to say with certainty. But you comprehend that if a thundering apoplexy killed this man, it was not so obliging as to bury him also.
Perfectly, you are quite right. Forward then to the farm of Jean Legros. Madame Legros, permit me to introduce me, Lord Wimsey, who has voyaged from England to make certain inquiries.
Milord.
Madame?
Your husband, madame, he's absent from home since how long?
Since December, Monsieur le Commissaire.
And where is he?
In Belgium.
You are lying, madame. He's in England, as you well know.
England, monsieur? But I've told you, he's in...
In England, madame. You wrote to him under the name of Paul Taylor, did you not, at the town of Walbech in the county of Lane-Cologne? You will not deny your own handwriting, I suppose, or the names of your 2 children, or the death of the red car. You do not imagine you can resurrect the car.
Monsieur, I...
Come, madame, during all these years you have been lying to the police, have you not? You knew very well that your husband was not a Belgian, but an Englishman. That his name was actually Paul Taylor. That he had not lost his memory at all. You have falsified papers, madame. That is a crime.
Monsieur...
This is your letter?
Monsieur, since you have found it, I cannot deny it. But...
Good. You admit the letter.
My husband, monsieur. I implore you to tell me, where is my husband?
Well,
Madame, We are greatly afraid that your husband is dead.
Oh, mon Dieu, je le savais bien.
If you will help us by telling the truth about your husband, we may be able to identify him. I would like you to look at these garments. Now, we don't know whether the man who wore these is your husband, but on my honor, the man who wore them is dead, and they were taken from his body.
Let me look at them.
You recognize them?
Yes, they are his. I mended these garments myself. He is dead. My husband is dead. Oh, Jean.
In that case, you can do him no harm by telling us the truth now.
Yes. Yes, I understand. It is true. He was an Englishman, but he really was wounded in the 1918 retreat. He came to the farm one night. He had lost much blood and was exhausted. It is not true that he had lost his memory. He implored me to hide him because he didn't want to fight anymore.
It was shameful, madame, to harbor a deserter.
The English are very strict. They might have thought him a coward and shot him. So we arranged that he should pretend to lose his memory. And since his French accent was not good, we decided to make out that his speech was affected by his injury. And I burnt his uniform and papers in the copper.
Who invented the story, you or he?
He did, monsieur. He was very clever. He thought of everything.
What was his real name?
His papers were burnt, and he never told me anything about himself.
You do not know his name? Was it then not Paul Taylor?
No, monsieur. He adopted that name when he went back to England.
Ah, and what did he go to England for?
Monsieur, we were very poor, and Jean said that he had property in England which could be disposed of for a good sum if only he could get hold of it without making himself known. Also, there were difficulties which he did not explain to me about selling the goods. I do not know what they were, and for that he had to have the help of a friend. So he wrote to this friend, and presently he received a reply.
Have you got that letter?
No, monsieur, he burnt it without showing it to me. He chose the name of Paul Taylor to go to England, and he laughed very much when the idea came to him to call himself so. And then the friend sent him papers made out in the name of Paul Taylor, British subject.
And you know nothing of the nature of this property in England?
No, my lord. Nothing whatever.
Was it land security? Valuables?
I don't know, monsieur.
Monsieur le Commissaire, could you let me have that photograph of Cranton?
Cranton? Of course, yes. Here you are, my lord.
Madame Legros, look carefully at this. Is that your husband as you first knew him?
No, monsieur. That is not my husband. It is not in the least like him. You have deceived me. He is not dead, and I have betrayed him.
He is dead, madame. It is this man who is alive. So now, Monsieur le Commissaire, we are no nearer than before to a solution.
It is possible that Madame Legros has not told us all she knows. What resources could her husband command, my lord?
Oh, how can I tell? But we believe that this mysterious property had to do with an emerald necklace of many thousands of pounds value.
Ah, je comprends. It would be worthwhile to spend the money then. But this man is not the man you thought.
Now, there's the difficulty. But look, there were two men concerned with the theft. One, a London jewel thief.
Cranton?
Cranton, that's right, Nobby Cranton. The other was a domestic servant. Now, we don't know which of them had the jewels. It's a long story, but you heard that this Jean Legros wrote to a friend in England, and that friend may have been Cranton. Now, Legros can't have been the servant who stole the jewels in the first place, for that man is dead. But let us suppose that before dying, the thief communicated to Legros the secret of where the emeralds are hidden, and also the name of Cranton. Legros then writes to Cranton and proposes a partnership to find the jewels. Cranton doesn't believe and asks for proof that Legros really knows something. Legros sends a letter which satisfies Cranton, and Cranton in turn procures the necessary papers for Legros. Then Legros goes to England and meets Cranton. Together they go and discover the jewels. Then Cranton kills Legros in order to have the lot for himself. How's that, monsieur? After all, Cranton has disappeared.
Oui, it is very possible, my lord. It is certain that there is more than desertion behind this change of name and Legros' fear of the British police. But if the man was an old jailbird, the thing understands itself. But there are still many difficulties.
Quite. But if my explanation is correct, one thing is certain.
And what is that, my lord?
Both the jewels and the murderer are to be found in England.
There was a great wind blowing over the fen, and immense white clouds sailing fast in the wide blue dome of the sky, as Lord Peter Wimsey and Superintendent Blundell walked thoughtfully through the churchyard at Fenchurch St. Paul. Lord Peter's visit to France had increased his suspicions that Nobby Cranton was the murderer of the man found buried in the churchyard. If this theory was correct, then the body was that of Jean Legros, who must have travelled from France around New Year in order to meet up with Cranton and divide the spoils of a robbery carried out in Fenchurch St. Paul more than 10 years before. The motive for such a murder was clear. Nobby Cranton preferred not to share out the takings with anybody else. But a large number of questions remained unanswered, not least how Jean Legros came to know about the jewels and to find out how to contact Nobby Cranton. And was Nobby Cranton really the sort of man to commit a brutal murder? Wimsey confided his thoughts to the superintendent.
Well, my lord, if that's how it is, we got to find Cranton. But I wouldn't have thought Nobby Cranton was the man for that sort of job. And you know, my lord, that it's very rare for one of them sort of smart burglars to go off the rails and take to violence, far less murder. Still, we got to find him, that's clear. If he's alive, he's lying uncommon low.
Found anything interesting today, Blundell? You have the look of a man on the hunt for clues.
Not really, my lord. I just thought I'd look round the churchyard in case of something we might have missed. But all I found up till now is nettles. They'll start thinking I turned as Potty Peak.
Yes, but it's that chap, Will Thody, who worries me. I can't make him out at all, can you?
Well, I'll swear he knows something. But what can he know? It's as certain as anything can be that he was sick in bed when it all happened. Now, there's one other person might know something, and that's James Thody, Will's brother. Look here, my lord, here's a queer thing. James Thody left the village on January 4th early in the morning to join his ship. He was seen to go all right, the station master saw him, but he never got to Hull that day. I'd been onto the shipping line he works for, and they say they had a wire from him to say he'd be delayed. Had some story been taken suddenly ill, and they say he looked ill enough when he did arrive. I've told them to get in touch with him as quick as they can.
Where was the wire sent from?
London, from a post office near Liverpool Street.
He might have picked up influenza from his brother.
So he might. Still, he was fit to sail the next day, and it looks funny, don't you think? He'd have had plenty of time to go up to London and come down here again. He might have come part of the way by train and the rest by car or motorbike.
You think he was in with Will over the thing? Yes, I see. Will Thody is in a conspiracy with Legros to get the emeralds, is that it? He then gets flu and can't do the job himself, so he arranges with brother Jim to do it for him. Then Jim meets Legros, kills him, buries him, and vamooses with the emeralds to Hong Kong. Well, that would explain one thing, and that's why those infernal stones haven't been put on the European market. Still, it was easier when we put it all onto Cranton, what? I mean, with his contacts in London, Cranton could easily have arranged false papers for Legros. But you can't imagine that Will Thody produced a false passport and all that. How would a fellow like that know how to set about it?
But there's the £200 that Will had on him when he was taken ill at New Year.
So there was. Ah, but that was after Legros set out.
And when Legros was killed, the money was returned to the bank.
Was it?
Oh, yeah. He gave me permission to go over his bank account. No suspicious withdrawals of money up to that £200 on December 31st, and that was paid in again in January, as soon as he was able to get about. He said the money was for purchasing a piece of land, but that he changed his mind. It's true about the land. I checked, and he did consider buying it. All the same, £200, all in £1 notes, and I... Excuse me a moment, my lord. Gotcha. Now, you clear off. You'll get yourself in trouble, my lad, hanging around the churchyard and listening to private conversations.
Oh, you needn't choke a fella. Don't choke poor Potty. If you knew what I know...
What do you know?
I seen him. Number 9. I seen him a-talking to Will Thooty in the church. But the Tailors was too much for him. Him with the rope, they got him. And they'll get you too, Potty knows.
Who was talking to Will in the church?
Why, him over there, him in the grave. The black-bearded man. There's 8 in the belfry and 1 in the grave. That makes 9. Him as calls a pale, you won't get him, oh no.
I'll see here. You're a clever fellow, Potty. When did you see Will Thody talking to the black-bearded man?
It was Monday night, that's when it was. There was cold pork and beans for dinner. That's good, cold pork and beans. Parson, he preached about thankfulness. Be thankful for Christmas, he say. So Potty slips out that night to be thankful again. Oh, you got to go to church, be thankful properly, ain't you, sir? And there was the church door a-standing open. So Potty creeps in, careful like, see, and there's a light in the vestry. Oh, Potty was frightened. Potty hides behind old Batty Thomas, and then Will Thooty comes in.
You sure of that, Potty?
Yeah. Potty hears him talking in the vestry. Will Thooty, then he cries out, and he fetches a rope from the chest. Oh, Potty don't want to see no one hanged.
And what did you do then, Potty?
Oh, Potty runs away. He looks in at the vestry window, and there's a black-bearded man a-laying on the floor, and Will a-standing him over him on the floor. Ropes. Potty dreams of ropes. 9 ropes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... And this one's 9.
I think you were dreaming all the time, Potty.
Yeah. It were only one of poor Potty's dreams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now there's 9. 9 tailors makes a man.
What are we to make of that?
Well, I think he saw something, all right. Or how did he know that the rope was gone from the coat chest?
That's true. Unless he were hiding in the churchyard and saw you and me finding the rope.
When do you think the rector preached about thankfulness for Christmas?
Well, that'd be the Sunday after, December 30th. We can easily check up on that with the rector.
Perhaps you should see Will Thody again.
Perhaps I should. Not that I believe a single word Potty says. Now about Jim Thody. How does he come into it now?
I don't know, Super, but there is one thing I'm sure of. It was no sailor put those knots into the rope we found in the well. I'll take my oath on that. By the way, have a look at this, will you? Young Hilary Thorpe sent it to me. It's a piece of paper she found in the belfry on the Saturday before Easter Day.
I thought to see the fairies in the field, but I saw only the evil elephants with their black backs. Woe, and how that sight awed me. The elves danced all around and about, while I heard voices calling clearly. Minstrels, gold trumpets, harps, and drums. Well, my lord, I don't know what to make of that. Sounds Potty.
I don't think Potty could rise to such heights. I think it may be some form of cryptogram.
Indeed, my lord. I shouldn't care to have to decipher it.
No, quite. It's already shown itself to be far from simple. But I've not yet given up hope of cracking the code.
If there is a code, my lord.
As you say, Blundell. If there is a code. Come in.
Lord Peter. I do hope you're not working yourself to death.
No.
I have ventured to bring a little comfort for the inner man.
Oh, thank you.
As these nights of early summer so chilly. And my wife thinks you might like to use this foot muff.
Oh, that's very kind.
Well, our maid Emily should have brought it to you, but sometimes she's as forgetful as I am. There's always a draught under that door. No, allow me.
Thank you.
Slightly moth-eaten, I fear, but still affords protection.
Well, this is most kind of you, Padre. Do give my thanks to Mrs. Venables.
Yes, indeed I will. Now, you must not let me disturb him. Oh, dear me. Now, what's that? Oh, are you pricking out a peal of bells? Oh, no. I see they're letters, not figures. My eyesight is not as good as it was. Oh, no, I'm rudely prying into your affairs.
No, not a bit, Padre, not a bit. Well, it does look rather like a peal, doesn't it? Yes. No, it's still this wretched cipher. Finding that a number of letters formed a multiple of 8, I'd written it out in 8 columns, hoping for lawn there that something might come of it. But now you mention it, I suppose one might make a simple sort of cipher out of a set of changes.
How would one do that?
Well, by taking the movements of one bell and writing the letters of your message in the appropriate places and then filling up the places of the other bells with, well, any letters you like.
Yes. No, I don't quite...
Well, look, for instance, take a plain course of grandsire doubles. And suppose you want to convey the simple and pious message, come and worship.
Yes, indeed.
Well, you would select one bell to carry the letters of the message. Let us say number 5 bell. Mm-hmm. Then you would write out your plain course, and wherever number 5 came, you would put one letter of your message.
Ah, I see.
Of course, the message would be hidden in one nonsensical paragraph, but the man who received it would simply divide the whole shooting match into vertical columns, one for each bell. Then he would run his pencil down the course of number 5 and read out the message.
But have you tried this method on the cryptogram?
Well, no, I haven't. I've only just thought of it. Now then, when Cranton came to Fenchurch St. Paul, he asked for Paul Taylor. I suspect because Deacon had told him that Taylor Paul or Batty Thomas knew where the emeralds were.
Yes,
now,
indeed.
That may refer to the cipher, of course. Come on, let's have at it. Let's try Kemp Treble Bob.
All right.
Well, we'll take Taylor Paul first. Now, she starts in the 7th place, H. Then 8th place, E. Back to 7th, S. To 6th, I. To 5th, T. H-E-S-I-T. Hesit. Oh, well, it's pronounceable at any rate. Dodge up into 6th place again.
T.
T, indeed. Down to 5th.
E.
E. To 4th.
T.
To 3rd, H. Hesiteth. No, hang on. Hello, Padre. We have got 2 words anyhow. He sitteth. Perhaps he is the necklace. He sitteth.
He sitteth between.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's part of a verse from Psalm 99. He sitteth between the cherubim. Now, the next letter should be B. Be the earth never so quiet?
Well, it ain't a B. It's another T. No, there ain't a B anywhere. But wait a moment. Let's carry on. T, H, E, I. No, as you were. Look, it's the Isles.
The Isles may be glad they're off. Psalm 97.
Excellent. One more bit. A, S, T, H, E, R.
I have it. As the rivers in the south. Now, that's Psalm 126, verse 5.
Well done, Padre. He sitteth between the cherubim, the isles may be glad thereof, as the rivers in the south. But what the dickens is one to make of it?
If you please, Mrs. Venables, I should like to give my week's warning.
Good gracious, Emily, what on earth is the matter with you?
If you'll allow me to explain, Mrs. Venables.
I'm sure I ain't got no fault to find with you, and Rector has always been that kind. But if I'm to be spoken to so by Mr. Bunter, when I'm not his servant, and I never want to be, and it ain't no part of my duties, and anyway how was I to know? I did ought to have been told, and it ain't my fault, and so I told Mr. Bunter.
Well, now, Bunter, what is all this trouble about?
I beg your pardon, madam. I fear that I forgot myself. But I've been in his lordship's service now for going on 15 years, counting my service under him in the war, and such a thing has never yet befallen me. In the sudden shock and the bitter mortification of my mind, I spoke with considerable heat. I assure you that it will not occur again.
But what is it all about?
That quart beer bottle, madam, standing there on the table, was found by his lordship. In the church belfry, I believe. It was entrusted to me, and I intended photographing it this morning before sending it to Scotland Yard to be examined for fingerprints. Yesterday evening, it seems that this young woman entered the room during my absence, investigated the cupboard, and removed the bottle. Not content with removing it, she dusted it.
If you please, I didn't know it was wanted. A nasty, dirty old thing. So I gives it a dust and...
Now the fingerprints have all gone. And what to say to his lordship, I do not know.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Oh, I
I don't know what to do.
You will understand my feelings, madam, when I think of his lordship waking to a new day and not knowing of the blow which is in store for him. He's rung twice, and he'll know by the delay that something of a calamitous nature has occurred.
Bunter?
My lord.
What the devil's happened to my tea? Oh, I beg your pardon, Mrs. Venables. Do excuse my language. Oh, and my bathrobe, what? I didn't know you were here.
Oh, Lord Peter, such a dreadful thing's happened. Your man is so terribly upset, and this silly girl, she meant well, of course, and it's all a mistake, but we've dusted all the fingerprints off your bottle.
I did it! I dusted it! I didn't know!
Bunter?
Yes, my lord.
Take up my tea and throw the bottle in the dustbin. What's done cannot be undone. Let it be a warning to you never to seek for happiness out of a bottle. Emily, if you cry any more, your young man won't know you on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
That will be all, Emily.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry about the bottle, Mrs. Venables. I always loathe the sight of it anyway. I beg you will not give another thought to it or to Emily either. She's a particularly nice girl, isn't she? What's her surname, by the way?
Holiday. She's some relation to Mary Throwday. Though, of course, in this village everybody is related to somebody or other. It comes of being such a small place. Though now they all have motor bicycles and the buses running twice a week, it isn't so bad. And there won't be so many unfortunate creatures like Potty Peak.
Just so, Mrs. Venables. Just so.
Beer, my lord?
No, thank you, not today. I'll have a bottle of Bass for a change.
Very good, my lord. I think you'll find it in nice condition.
Condition is 9/10 of the bottle, what? And a lot depends, of course, upon the bottling. Who are your bottlers?
Griggs of Walbeach. Very sound people they are, too. Look at that. Clear as a bell.
There's certainly nothing wrong with this. Your health. Won't you take something yourself?
Oh, thank you, my lord. Don't mind if I do. There we are. As nice a glass of Bass as you could wish to see.
Do you do much in the way of quart bottles?
Quarts? No, not much demand for quart bottles of beer. Of course, Will Thoday, he had quite a few while his brother Jim was at home.
Did he indeed? Excellent beer you serve here, landlord. Excellent beer.
My lord! My lord!
Yes, Superintendent. What can I do for you?
Oh, there you are, my lord. Hey, we got Cranton. No. Yes, my lord. They've run him to earth in a place in London. I heard from them this morning. I'm going up to interrogate him. Would you like to come?
Rather. Maybe our friend Cranton will be able to help with the cipher. I've cracked the code, by the way.
Have you? Oh, that's wonderful, my lord.
Yes, but I wish it were. It doesn't take us any further forward there, I'm afraid, but I am certain it's a clue to where the emeralds are hidden. And, incidentally, I think it was that Legros sent to his friend in England as a guarantee that he could lead him to the Wilbraham emeralds. And another thing. Here. Compare the paper on which the cipher is written with the paper on which Susan Legros sent the letter to her husband in England.
By Jove, my lord, they're the same. Might have come out the same packet.
I wonder if Cranton will be able to shed any light on that interesting coincidence.
Well, of course, if your lordship recognises me, that's done it. I'll have to come clean, as the sheet said to the patent washer. Well, it's a fact that I was in Fenchurch St. Paul on New Year's Day, and a lovely place it is to start a Happy New Year in, I don't think. If you ask me, I think it's damn slack of you flatties not to have dug me out earlier. What we pay rates and taxes for, I don't know.
Don't waste your breath giving us lip, Cranton. When did you start growing that face fungus? In September? What was the idea?
Oh, I thought they'll never know Nobby Cranton, with his handsome features all hidden in black hair.
You had some game on, which started last September, eh? Anything to do with the Wilbraham emeralds?
Oh, to be frank, it was. Look here, I'll tell you the truth about that. I've never minded being put inside for what I've done, but it's offensive to a gentleman's feelings when his word isn't believed. I never had those emeralds, and you know it. If I had them, I wouldn't be living in a hole like this.
So you went to Fenchurch St. Paul to try and find them, I suppose, under the name of Stephen Driver.
That's right, I did. And why? Because I knew they must be there. That swine, you know who I mean.
Deacon, the servant.
Yeah, Deacon. He never got those emeralds from there, I'm sure of it. You pinched him too quick for that. He hid them somewhere, and I meant to get them, see? I meant to get them and then bring them along and show them to the police and make you take back what you'd said about me having had them. Pretty silly you'd have all looked, wouldn't you?
Indeed, that were the idea, were it? You're going to find the stuff and bring it along like a good little boy?
That's right.
What made you think you knew where to look for him, Cranton?
Something Deacon said once gave me an idea. But he was a liar about that, too. He was so crooked, that man, you could have used his spine for a safety pin. It serves me right for having to do with menials. Deacon said to me in the dock, if you'll excuse me mentioning such a vulgar place, he said, "Nobby, want to know where those shiners are? Ask Paul Taylor or Batty Thomas." But I found out there were no such people. Only some rubbish about bells, so I dismissed the matter from my mind and gave up any idea of finding them.
Why did you leave the village so soon?
I saw Deacon's wife. I was afraid she might remember me, might recognise me, despite the beard. I never expected to see her in the village.
She came back when she married a man named Thirday.
Married again? I didn't know that. Well, I'll be...
Did that woman have anything to do with the theft of the emeralds? Did she plan it with her husband, Deacon?
No. I'll pretty well take my oath she knows nothing about them.
So you didn't investigate the matter of Batty Thomas and Paul Taylor any further? You didn't, for instance, visit the belfry to see if the emeralds were hidden up there?
No, of course I didn't. Besides, the confounded place was always locked.
You tried it, then?
Eh? Well, I made just to lay my hand on the door, so to speak.
You never went up into the bell chamber?
Not me.
Then how do you account for the cipher that was found there?
Eh? I never saw it before. What is it?
You're lying. You have seen it. Jean Legros sent it to you, didn't he?
Hey, who's he? I've never heard of him. For God's sake, can't you leave me alone? Are you charging me with anything?
Not as yet.
Then you've got to take my answer.
Do you want to be charged?
With what? You can't charge me with stealing the emeralds all over again.
No, but we might charge you with the murder of Jean Legros.
Oh, no. No. That's a lie. I never killed him. I never killed anybody. I never.
Well, he recognised that paper all right.
Yes, produced quite a reaction, didn't it? He's frightened about something, all right.
He's frightened about the murder. It looks to me as though he did it. He admits he was there and that he ran away on the night the body was buried. If he didn't do it, who did? He could have got the key of the crypt from the Sexton, all right, we know that.
So he could. But he was a stranger to the place. How did he know where the Sexton kept his tools or where to find the bell rope? And where does Legros come into it? If Cranton knew where to find the emeralds, what was the sense of bringing Legros to England? And if he did, for some reason, need Legros and killed him to get the emeralds, where are the emeralds?
We'll search Cranton's house. I don't somehow think we'll find them, but if we do, then we can arrest Cranton for murder. I'm sure of that. If not, we'll be forced to release him.
Where thy treasure is, there shall thy heart be also. Yes, the heart of this crime, Super, is down at Fenchurch St. Paul. That is my prophecy. Care to have a bet on it?
Oh, but you see, you will find the same sort of arrangement in most of the Fen churches.
Mm-hmm.
At the Upwell Church near Wisbeach, for example, they put up a gallery in the south aisle. Very unfortunate. Well, the cherubim are almost totally obscured.
Some more Yorkshire pudding for you, Lord Peter?
No, thank you, Mrs. Venables. Absolutely delicious, but I couldn't manage another morsel.
About 10 years ago, we took down the galleries in our church. Hideous, cumbersome things they were.
They made the church so dark, too. I always used to say it was a regular blind man's holiday underneath those galleries.
Do you mean the gallery in your church ran close to the cherubim in the south aisle?
Yes, and you see they ran right across the aisle windows, blocking the light, and it...
He sitteth between the cherubim. The isles may be glad thereof, as the rivers in the south.
The cryptogram?
Exactly.
What do you mean, the emeralds are hidden between the cherubim in the south aisle?
Were hidden, perhaps. Where did the servants from the Thorpes' house sit before the gallery was taken down?
Why, they used the gallery. Good gracious. Then Deacon hid the emeralds somewhere in the gallery.
In the roof above the gallery, I suspect.
Well, we must hasten and... Oh dear. Now, today is Sunday. Perhaps we could get a ladder tomorrow morning. We're still rather touchy about the fourth commandment here.
I don't think we need hurry, Padre. This will be purely for fun. By way of shut in the stable door after the steed has been stolen.
Right, Blundell. Let's get the ladder up over here.
No. The servants used to sit further to the right.
Over here?
That's it.
Splendid. Right, now then. You hold the ladder steady, Blundell. There's a good fellow.
Right-o, my lord.
And up we go.
Do take care, Lord Peter.
Don't you worry about me. I'm all right. I say. Whew. Need to get into training for this. By Jove, beautiful little work. All pegged together. I say, this peg's rather loose. Pass me up the mallet, Blundell, would you? There's a good chap.
Here you are, my lord.
Hang on, I'm coming down.
Hey, careful now.
Well, I'm afraid that ladder's rather old, Lord Peter.
Thank you. Right, up we go again. Slowly does it. Right. Now then. It's moving. One more go. There. Mallet coming down, Blundell.
Got it, my lord.
Well done, well done. Now, let's get this peg out. Wriggle her gently. Looks like this was the hiding place, all right. And out she comes.
Bless my heart.
The emeralds. The emeralds, by God.
Indeed. And we were wrong, Blundell. We've been wrong from start to finish. Nobody found them. Nobody killed anyone for them. Nobody deciphered the cryptogram. We've got the emeralds, old lad, but we are wrong, and out of the hunt.
In the village of Fenchurch St. Paul, Lord Peter Wimsey was to be seen entering the church. Unlocking the door in the tower, he made his way up the spiral staircase. He then passed up through the great bare clock chamber till he came out beneath the bells. If their tongues could speak, they could tell him what they had seen. But they had neither speech nor language. Somewhere in or near this church, a man had been murdered at New Year. Then the murderer had mutilated the body to prevent identification and buried it on top of the coffin in Lady Thorpe's grave. That there was a connection between this and the theft of the Wilbraham emeralds 10 years before was already clear. But now the emeralds had been found, there was no apparent motivation for the murder. The one hope left was to find out the real identity of Jean Legros, the man who made the mysterious journey from France to the village of Fenchurch St. Paul, only to keep an appointment with death.
Come in, my lord.
Thank you.
I just received a letter from Monsieur Rosier. We now know who this Jean Legros really was.
Ah, splendid. I only hope it helps.
Apparently, the French police searched Suzanne Legros' house and found her husband's original identity disc. He was an Englishman, right enough. And can you guess where he came from?
I've given up guessing, Super.
He came from a little place in Kent, only about half a mile from the wood where Deacon's body was found after he broke out of jail.
Oh, now we're coming to it, Blundell.
I got on the phone straight away as soon as this letter arrived. This man, who later called himself Legros, joined up in 1914, last seen on the last day of his leave in 1918, just 2 days after Deacon's escape from prison.
It makes no sense, Super. It makes no sense whatsoever. If this man joins up in the first year of the war, how on earth could he have been elaborately in league with Deacon, who went to Maidstone in 1914?
Well, how's this, my lord? You see, I've been working this thing out, see? Deacon burst away from a working party, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was found still wearing his present dress, right? Now, here's this Legros, hard nut by all accounts. He's walking through the woods. This is 1918, right? On his way back to France, and he finds Jeff Deacon lurking about. He collars him and discovers he's got an escaped convict.
And the convict says, let me go and I'll make you a rich man.
Right, and our soldier friend has no objection to that. Lead me to it, says he. What is it? The Wilbraham emerald, says Deacon. Then Deacon, like a fool, lets out that he's made a note of the hiding place for the emeralds, and he's got the note on him. Well, the other man thinks, why split it 2 ways? So he lams Deacon over the head. But when he gets the paper off of the body, he's upset to find that he can't make head nor tail of it.
So he pops Deacon down a hole in the ground and makes tracks for France. How's that so far?
Fine, full-blooded stuff, Super. But why should Deacon be carrying a note of the hiding place about with him? And how did he come to be written on foreign paper?
Well, I can't answer everything at once, can I?
I wonder if Mary Thody can shed some light on this. I wonder if she would recognise the cryptogram.
So you think she was in on the crime when she was still married to Jeff Deacon?
Well, I'm not sure. But there's something strange about their behaviour over New Year, and I don't think it would do any harm to pay a call on the lady. I hope you'll forgive me, Mrs. Thody, if I take your mind back to a rather painful episode. I mean to say, bygones are bygones and all that, and one hates digging anything up, what? But when it comes to dead bodies in other people's graves and so on, well, sometimes one gets pondering about them and all that sort of thing, don't you know?
Yes, indeed, my lord.
Well, would you mind taking a look at this photograph? See if it rings a bell.
Him? Oh, I remember him, my lord. That was Nobby Cranton, that took the necklace and was sent to prison same time as Mr. Deacon, my first husband.
Do you know that this man is also Stephen Driver?
What? You mean the man who was here in the village at New Year? No, this can't be Driver. Driver had a beard.
Especially grown for the occasion.
Yes. I suppose now you've told me, you can tell it's the same man. Does that mean Cranton's dead?
Nobby Cranton is very much alive and kicking. And you had no idea that it was the same person? You never recognised Driver?
I had no idea it was Cranton. If I'd ever had such a thought, I'd have spoken to him. I'd have got out of him where he put those emeralds.
And what do you suppose Nobby Cranton came down here for?
Doesn't that show, my lord, that it was him as hid them after all?
But Nobby Cranton claims he was told in the dock by your late husband that the emeralds were here, that he should ask for Tailor Paul and Batty Thomas to find them for him.
I don't understand that, my lord.
Well, looky here. There may be some connection with this cryptogram. Have you ever seen the writing before?
Oh, that writing?
You recognise it?
No, my lord, no.
Really? We had an idea that it might have been written by some man your late husband knew when he was in jail. Did you ever hear of anyone called Jean Legros?
No, my lord.
And you never knew anyone called Paul Taylor?
No, never.
Oh, well, I just wondered.
Where did this paper come from?
Oh, this. It was picked up in the church, in the belfry.
In the church?
Well, I mustn't bother you any more, Mrs. Thody. I just wanted to clear up this little point about Cranton, that's all. Forgive my barging along and bothering you about what's forgotten. Oh, by the way, I gather from Mr. Venables that you and Will didn't go to church this Sunday.
Well, no, we didn't, as it happens. But if you don't mind my saying so, that's our business, my lord.
You're quite right. Absolutely. No reason for going to church if one doesn't feel like it, is there?
Well, my lord, I sent that cryptogram to the governor at Maidstone, where Deacon and Cranton were held, and whose do you suppose the writing is?
I've been thinking it over, Super, and I think it must have been Deacon's.
Yes, well, you're quite right, my lord, it is.
When I showed the paper to Mary Thody, I felt sure that she recognised the writing.
How did it come to be written on that foreign paper?
Did old Lady Thorpe ever have a foreign maid?
She had a French cook.
At the time of the theft?
Yes, she left there when the war broke out, I remember.
Oh, and that's clear enough then, ain't it? Deacon invented his cryptogram before he hid the emeralds. He couldn't have taken it to prison with him, therefore he must have handed it to somebody.
To Mary?
Well, perhaps. And she must have sent it to Legros in France. But why him?
I thought it were a bit reckless, if you'll excuse me, my lord, showing that paper to Mary Thody. She skipped.
Skipped?
First train to London this morning, and Will Thody with her.
Good God.
You may say so, my lord. Gone off, that's what they done.
Well, I admit I didn't expect that, but... Of course! Superintendent, I think I have been the most unmitigated and unconscionable ass that ever brayed in a sleuth-hound's skin. Of course! Do you know, I believe I've solved the entire problem. With one trivial exception, that is. Probably you've done so, too.
What's the bit you haven't solved, my lord?
The murder.
Oh.
Look here, Super, this is going to be a dash painful sort of story. I think I'd like to test it out a bit before I come up with it. Will you do something yourself for me first? I'd rather not say anything until that's been done. After that, I'll say anything you like.
Well?
Will you send this envelope to the French police, asking them to open it in the presence of Madame Legros? It contains a photograph. I'd like to know her reaction to it.
Well, all right, my lord. I'll send the envelope to Monsieur Rosier.
Let the envelope remain sealed, Blundell, and be so kind as not to ask me whose photograph it contains.
Very good, my lord. Anything else?
Yes. The Thirdays. I'm a little uncomfortable about the Thirdays. You're looking for them, I suppose?
Of course we are, my lord.
Well, when you've put your hands on them, will you let me know before you do anything drastic? I'd rather like to be there when you question them. You shouldn't have any difficulty with them, provided, that is, you catch them within a fortnight. After that, it'll be more difficult.
Why within a fortnight?
Oh, come, Super, ain't it obvious? I show Mrs. Thirday the cipher. On Sunday morning, neither she nor her husband attends Holy Communion, and on Monday they depart to London by the first train. Oh, my dear Watson, it's staring you in the face. The only real danger is the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Oh, indeed. And how about Mussolini and the Emperor of Japan?
Negligible, old lad, negligible. Likewise the Bishop of Rome. But get on to it, Blundell, would you? Get on to it, there's a good fellow. Come in.
Ah, Lord Peter, I was looking for you.
Ah. Look here, Padre, I'm frightfully sorry to be haunting the rectory like an unhappy ghost, but the truth is that my investigation has reached rather a crucial point, and there's not much I can do except hang around and wait until there are further developments.
Quite, yes, I do understand. Oh, good gracious, how silly of me. I almost forgot what I came to tell you. Superintendent Blundell is on the telephone for you. From London.
Is he indeed? Aha!
Come through.
Thank you.
There we are.
Ah. My dear Blundell, what news?
I just heard from the French police, my lord. They showed the sealed photograph to Madame Legros, like you requested.
And?
She identified it as her husband.
I thought so.
If you don't mind me asking, my lord, whose photograph was it in the sealed envelope?
Don't you know, Super? It was Jeff Deacon, of course.
Deacon?
Deacon.
So, he never died in 1918. It was he who got to France, came back to England and went to Fenchurch St to look for the emeralds.
Did a deal with Nobby Cranton?
That's right. This means Nobby Cranton's the killer, my lord.
I rather fear it does, yes.
I shall have him arrested immediately.
So be it.
Oh, another thing, my lord. Will and Mary Thody were detained this morning.
Good, excellent.
What's more, I checked the parish registers, and the vicar of St Andrews, Bloomsbury, says he's been asked to perform a marriage between William Thody and Mary Deacon. It was scheduled for next Saturday.
What did I tell you, Blundell? But let's deal with Cranton first. I'll drive up to London right away, and we can interrogate Cranton together.
Right. I didn't do it. And I want to make a statement. Where do you want me to begin?
Begin at the beginning, go on till you get to the end, and then stop.
What you want to know is, how did I first hear that Deacon was still on deck, eh?
Let's have the truth now, Cranton.
Very well. He wrote me a letter, that's how. Somewhere about last July, it would be. I burnt it, being an honourable gentleman. But it was some story, and I don't know if I can do justice to it.
I'm sure you'll manage.
Well, it seems that when Deacon got out of Maidstone jail in 1915, after an unfortunate encounter with a warder, he had to sneak about Kent for a day or two. The third night he was out there, lying doggo in a wood somewhere, and he heard a chap coming along, rolling drunk. So Deacon pops out from behind a tree and pastes the fellow one.
He must have struck a bit harder than he meant.
That's what he said, of course. But he'd done for a warder already, and you can't hang a man twice. What he wanted, of course, was a set of clothes, because he'd still got his prison duds on. Well, when he came to examine the takings, he'd found he'd bagged a Tommy.
What did he do then?
He changed his clothes with the Tommy, collars his papers and whatnot, and tips the body down a hole. Then he heads for London, hoping to find an old friend. But he gets drunk on the train, see, and the next thing he knows, he's in another train, with Tommies all around him. And from what he can make out, he's bound for the front.
That's a very remarkable story, Nobby.
Oh, it's clear enough. Some kindly soul must have examined his papers, found he was due back, and shoved him on the nearest transport bound for Dover, I suppose.
That's right. Caught in the machine, as you might say. Well, he finds he can't get away, And 2 days later he's at the front, and he suddenly grasped what he was in for. He must have got a right vertical breeze up. Anyway, he never got to the trenches. He got mixed up in the retreat, got a knock on the head and some other injuries, and wandered about for a bit. Then a girl found him. Deacon was pretty smart about that. He'd pretended he'd lost his memory.
Suzanne Legros. We know about all that.
You seem to know a lot.
Now tell us about the emeralds.
Oh, yeah. Well, Deacon learned from an old English paper he got hold of somehow that they'd found the body in the hole. His body, as everyone thought. Now, it worried him to think of those sparklers all tucked away and doing no good to anybody, and him not being able to get to them. So, when I come out of jail, there was a letter from Deacon waiting for me.
So you promised him false identity papers to get back to England, provided you shared out the emeralds.
That's it. Of course, we didn't exactly trust each other. I mean, how was I to know he wouldn't double-cross me again? Well, in the end, he sent me a cipher to help make out where the emeralds were, though I couldn't make head nor tail of the thing. Call me a mug if you like, but I sent him over some money and some perfectly good papers. He wanted them made out as Paul Taylor. Must have thought it would be a good joke. But by the end of the month, I'd heard no further from Deacon, and I thought I'd been had proper. So I got windy. I thought I'd better go down to Fenchurch St and see what was happening.
And that was where we ran across one another, I think.
Yes. If I'd known who I had the pleasure of stopping, I'd have walked off home.
Oh, that's very handsome of you. You then got a job with Ezra Wilderspin and made inquiries about Paul Taylor and Betty Thomas.
Yeah, and a nice business that was. Mr. Paul Bleaton Taylor and Mr. Betty Thomas. Bells, if you please. Well, I took the idea that the cipher must be connected in some way with a bell, so on the Saturday night, a bit after midnight, I went down to that church, and the minute I put my hand on the door, I found it was open. Well, I thought Deacon must be in there, on the job. But who else could it be at that time of the night? I looked around, but I couldn't make out where Deacon was, so I went up to the belfry, and that's where I found him. Boo! There he was.
Dead?
There's a doornail, tied up to a big kind of a post, and a look on his face. I don't want to see a face like that again. Just as though he'd been struck dead and mad all at one go, if you see what I mean.
I suppose there's no doubt he was dead.
I never saw anyone deader.
Stiff?
No, not stiff, but cold. My God, I just touched him. Then I heard someone starting to come up the tower. There was another ladder, and I legged it on up that as high as I could go. I wasn't keen on being found up there with the body of me old pal Deacon. That might take some explaining. Well, then I heard this other chap moving around, and there were some bumps and dragging noises. I realised whoever it was getting the body down the ladder. Well, when he was gone, I thought, you better be making tracks, Nobby. But it was awkward, see, going down in the dark, and after a bit I switched my torch on, and I wished I hadn't. There I was, and those bells just beneath me, and God, I hated the look of them. I went all cold and sweaty, and the torch slipped out of my hand and fell and hit one of the bells. I'll never forget the sound it made. It wasn't loud, but it was terribly sweet and threatening. And it went humming, on and on and on. And a whole lot of other notes seemed to come out of it. You'll think I'm loony, but I'll tell you, that bell was alive.
You got too much imagination, Nobby.
No, you wait, Mundle. You wait till you get stuck on a ladder in a belfry in the dark. Bells are like cats and mirrors. They're always queer, and it don't do to think too much about 'em.
Well, after a bit, I crawled on down. It felt like hours. Oh, I dare say it wasn't more than 5 minutes. I groped around and found the torch, but I discovered later I'd lost the cipher. Must have come out of my pocket when I pulled the torch out. Well, in the end, I got out of that church, and I ran and ran. God, how I ran. But see here, what I've told you is the truth and the whole truth. I swear to you, Deacon was already dead when I found him. I don't ever want to go back to Fenchurch St, sir. I don't mind telling you.
Yes, I know what you mean.
It's a most extraordinary tale, Lord Peter. Most extraordinary. Oh, to think that Deacon was alive all that time. And, of course, Deacon was the body in Lady Thorpe's grave.
Yes.
And so Cranton and Deacon, after all those years, came back to Fenchurch together to pick up the emeralds from their hiding place, thereby completing the crime they started so long ago.
That's about the size of it, Padre.
But then there was some sort of quarrel, and Cranton killed Deacon.
Well, there's where our problems begin. Because, curiously enough, I am far from certain that Cranton is the murderer.
Oh, dear. How very complicated. And poor Mary Soda. How distressing for her. To have married Will thinking that her first husband was dead, when all the time he was living in France with another woman. Oh, dear.
I must shortly talk with the Thodays. I rather wish I hadn't come butting into this, Padre. Some things may be better left alone, don't you think?
Oh, my dear boy, it does not do for us to take too much thought for the morrow. Oh, it is better to follow the truth and leave the result in the hand of God.
Well, I dare say you're right. I'm sorry to have made so much unpleasantness anyway. I really would rather go away now. I've got that silly modern squeamishness, you see, that doesn't like watching people suffer. I can't say I'm looking forward to my next interview with the Thodays.
Now look here, Mr. Blundell. I don't see what right you've got coming in here.
No, Mary. You'd be well advised to keep quiet till your husband's finished his explanation.
Now, let's get your story clear, Thoday. You heard that the body of a man who might have been a convict had been found in the churchyard. And though the face was quite unrecognizable, you were, shall we say, inspired to identify him with Geoffrey Deacon, whom you had supposed to have died in 1918. You said nothing about it till your wife, the other day, saw a bit of Deacon's handwriting, which might have been written at any time, and was, shall we again say, inspired with the same idea. Without waiting for any further verification, you both rushed away to London to get remarried. And that's the only explanation you can give.
That's all I have to say, my lord.
You know, I don't think you quite realize your position, Thoday. We don't want to stand in the way of your marriage, but the ugly fact remains that you were the man with the best cause to do away with Deacon. And that means, supposing a charge were laid against you and brought into court, well, they might want this lady to give evidence.
Well?
Well, the law does not allow a wife to give evidence against her husband.
I see. It come to this. Deacon robs my poor Mary of her good name by stealing them emeralds. Then he makes bastards of our little gals. And now he can come between us again at the altar rails and drive her into the witness box to put my neck in the rope. If ever a man deserved killing, he's the one, and I hope he's burning in hell for it now.
Very likely he is. But you do see the point, if you don't tell us the truth now. Mrs. Thoday, when did you first realize that Deacon had been alive till the beginning of the year, and that you were, therefore, not legally married to Will?
Only when you came to see me, my lord, last week.
When I showed you that piece of writing in Deacon's hand?
Yes, my lord.
Now, see here, Mary. How did you know that paper wasn't written donkeys years ago? What made you jump so quick to the idea that Deacon was the corpse in the Thorpe grave? Just answer that, my girl.
I don't know. It came over me all of a sudden.
Yes, it did. And why? Because Will had told you about it already, and you knew the game was up, because you'd seen that there paper before.
No.
It's no good, Mary. Don't answer, don't say anything. They'll only twist your words round into what you don't mean.
Don't you see, Will, that if you tell us what you know, and we are satisfied that your wife knows nothing, then there is nothing to prevent your marriage from going through straight away. You see, somebody must have known something for your wife to have jumped so quickly to the conclusion that the dead man was Deacon.
Stop that! You say another word and I'll... She never knew. I did know. I'll say that much. As I hoped to be saved, she never knew a word about it.
As you hoped to be saved. Well. So you did know. And that's all you have to tell us?
I'm not saying anything more one way or the other.
You don't want to help me? Oh, well, never mind. Let's try this. You tied Deacon up and left him in the vestry while you went round to steal Mr. Venable's keys. Then you took him up into the belfry because the bell chamber was nice and handy, and it was easier than escorting him through the village. After that, you brought him some food. Perhaps Mrs. Thoday could throw some light upon that. Did you miss a quart bottle of beer or so about that time, Mrs. Thoday? Some of those you got in for Jim? Oh, by the way, Jim is coming home, and we'll have to have a word with him.
What?
That doesn't seem to please him much, my lord.
The next day you went over to Walbeach to get some money. But you weren't feeling well, and on the way home you broke down completely and couldn't get back to let Deacon out. Now, that was damned awkward for you, wasn't it? You didn't want to confide in your wife. Of course, there was your brother Jim.
Jim had nothing to do with it.
Very well. But in between December the 30th and January the 4th, somebody killed Deacon. And on the night of the 4th, somebody buried the body. Somebody who knew him and took care to mutilate his hands and face beyond recognition. And what everybody will want to know is at what moment did Deacon cease to be Deacon and become the body? Because that's rather the point, ain't it? We know that you couldn't very well have buried him yourself because you were ill. But the killing is a different matter. You see, Thoday, he didn't starve to death. He died with a full tummy. Now, you couldn't have fed him after the morning of the 31st. If you didn't kill him then, who took him his rations in the interval? And who, having fed him and killed him, rolled him down the belfry ladder on the night of the 4th, with a witness sitting in the roof of the tower? A witness who'd seen Deacon and recognized him.
Oh,
Mary!
Hold on, my lord. The woman's fainted.
It's a damnable business, Blundell, the whole thing. If ever a fellow deserved a sticky death, it's this Deacon brute. If the Lord found him, the law would have hanged him with loud applause from all good citizens. Why should we hang a perfectly decent chap for anticipating the law and doing our dirty work for us?
Well, 'tis the law, my lord.
Oh.
In any case, we're going to have a bit of a job hanging Will Thoday. Deacon was killed on a full stomach. If Will did away with him on the 30th or the 31st, why'd you go and collect the £200? If Deacon was dead, he wouldn't want it. On the other hand, if Deacon wasn't killed till the 4th, who fed him in the interval? If Jim Thoday killed him, why'd you trouble to feed him first? The thing makes no sense.
Suppose Deacon was being fed by somebody, and suppose he said something infuriating, and the somebody killed him all of a sudden in a frenzy, not meaning to.
Yeah, but how did he kill him? He wasn't stabbed or shot or clouted over the head?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps the rector killed him, perhaps the Sexton killed him, or the blacksmith, or... Oh, curse the man. He is a perfect nuisance, dead or alive, and whoever killed him was a public benefactor. I wish I'd killed him myself.
Lord Peter Wimsey left the churchyard and went into the church, stepping softly, as though he feared to rouse up something from its sleep. Abbot Thomas was quiet in his tomb. The cherubims, open-eyed and open-mouthed, were absorbed in their everlasting contemplation. Far over him he felt the patient watchfulness of the bells. It was under those bells that Jeff Deacon had met with his death, found there by his former accomplice in crime, Nobby Cranton, who had come back to Fenchurch St. Paul to find the fabled Wilbraham emeralds. There was every reason to suppose that Nobby Cranton had actually killed Deacon, but the case was complicated by the discrepancies in the story told by Mary Thoday, first wife of Jeff Deacon, discrepancies that pointed to her second husband, Will, as the murderer. There seemed little justice in the case that Lord Peter was pursuing. Jeff Deacon, it was now clear, had killed 2 men in his lifetime. It was a grotesque and bizarre twist of fate that Wimsey should now be attempting to send to the rope the man who had rid the world of a ruthless murderer.
Well, my lord, I tried with Will Thoday again, but he won't say anything.
Oh, I know you won't, Superintendent. Have you arrested him?
No, my lord, I haven't. I sent him home and told him to think it over. But I'm taking the view that we'll be able to handle him better after we've interrogated his brother Jim.
We know that Jim will be back in England any day now.
Oh, yeah. The shipping owners have been very sensible. They've given him orders to come home without saying what he's wanted for.
Good. I only wish I felt we were making some real progress towards finding out who did the actual murder.
Well, my lord, we've established most of the facts about what happened in that belfry between December 31st and January 4th.
Oh, well, yeah, I suppose so.
We know that Jeff Deacon came back after all those years to pick up the emeralds that he'd hidden after the robbery. We know that Cranton sent him false papers to help him get over here from France using the name Paul Taylor, right?
We also know that Nobby Cranton feared he was going to be cheated out of his share of the takings and came herring up to Fenchurch St. Paul under the name of Stephen Driver. I met him on the road as I was leaving the village, you may recall.
At least there's no doubt about that bit, my lord. And Nobby Cranton finds that the cryptogram sent to him by Deacon isn't one bit of help in finding the emeralds. However, he does begin to think that there's some connection with the bells in the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes along to the church late at night, and there in the belfry he finds Deacon tied up and already dead.
According to our own dear Nobby. Alternative explanation, Nobby Cranton finds Deacon in the church and gets angry and wallops Deacon over the head for double-crossing him.
I accept that we already know, my lord.
The Deacon wasn't killed by a blow to the head?
Right.
Yes, true. We also know that he didn't starve to death. Oh, I'm beginning to think that we know too much. None of it seems to help.
I suppose it's possible that it was Will who killed Deacon. The motive was certainly there, and no mistake. Deacon was a nasty piece of goods. He dragged Mary's name into the dirt by stealing his employer's property to start with. Then he murders a warder while he's in jail. Then, just when Will and Mary have built a new life and they think that Deacon is long dead, up he pops like a jack-in-the-box and threatens to wreck their happiness. I can't say how to blame Will Thody if he just lammed Deacon one and got rid of him once and for all.
Bit of a public service, right?
Yes, my lord. Though the law's the law, and I suppose it's not really for us to say that one man has the right to kill another.
Quite. And yet you know, Bundle, the timing is all wrong for Will Thody to have done it. We know that he was ill and bedridden on the night of the 31st. I remember it myself. I mean, that was why I spent my New Year celebrating pulling on a bell rope, because Will Thody was too ill and I agreed to take his place.
But what about his strange behaviour? Running round the countryside with £200 in cash, and then there's the beer bottle left lying in the belfry, same kind as Mary had been buying during Jim Thody's visit.
Which opens the possibility that Jim is the murderer, and that Will is covering up for him, being his brother's keeper, as it were, what?
I doubt if we'll make much progress till we've had a talk with Jim Thody.
And even then, my dear Blundell, I would not absolutely guarantee that we make rapid progress. There's something about this case that defies rational investigation. Perhaps the rector killed Deacon, what do you think? Or Hezekiah the blacksmith, or the rector's wife. Or could it have been the foreign secretary?
I don't suppose it were any of those, my lord. I'm waiting for Jim Thody. I got a hunch that he may have quite a lot to tell us.
Have you? Oysters have beards, but they don't always wag 'em.
If it comes to oysters, there's ways and means of opening 'em. And you needn't swallow 'em whole, neither. You're not planning to have another talk with Will Thody?
No, not just at the moment, no. I don't think there's much to be done for a bit. But my brother Denver is off to Warbeach to open the new cut, so I expect I shall pop along there and join in the fun. So you're the engineer on the project?
One of them. It's been a big job, this has. We've shortened the course of the wash cut by 3 miles and driven the channel out into the wash beyond the mudbanks, see? The whole secret with these fen rivers is to bring all the water you can into its natural course. You'd think it was obvious, wouldn't you? But it's taken people hundreds of years to learn it.
I suppose all this extra water will go up the 30-foot drain.
That's right. The new cut will carry the water clean off and obviate the floods they used to get around Frogglesham and Lipsey Fen.
Will the 30-foot dikes down the strain?
Oh, dear, yes. It was the silting in the outfall that caused the obstruction, you see.
And now you've cleared the whale outfall, no doubt the obstruction will go somewhere else.
Very likely. These mudbanks are always shifting about. But in time, I dare say they'll clear the whole thing. Unless, of course, they really take it into their hands to drain the wash and make a real job of it.
Just so.
But so far as it goes, this looks pretty good. It's to be hoped the old sluice gates over there will stand up to the strain, though.
Hold on!
How about my old sluice gates?
Ah, hello again, our friend the sluice keeper.
They're strong enough. Excuse me a minute, my lord. I just want to see that they're making the dam good over there.
Now, look at all this here money they've been spending. Thousands. But as for them gates of mine, I reckon I can go and whistle for 'em. You look at this here great scour of water what's a coming up. Now where's that a-going to? It's got to go somewhere, isn't it?
No doubt. I understand it's to go up the 30-foot drain.
Always interfering with things, they are.
Well, they're not interfering with your gates, anyway.
No, they ain't. And that's just where it is. Once you start interfering with things, you've got to go on. One thing lead to another. Let things bide, that's what I say. Don't go digging of 'em up and altering of 'em. Dig up one thing, and you've got to dig up another.
What ho, Blundell? Any news?
Come in, my lord. Yes, we got hold of Jim Thody, arrived back in England yesterday. We've informed him that we require him as a witness.
Good, well done, super. What's his story about his departure from Fenchurch St. Paul?
Well, he says he took ill on the train after leaving Fenchurch, attributed the trouble to some sort of gastric influenza. Felt too ill to proceed to his ship after arriving in London, and spent the day huddled over the fire in a public house near Liverpool Street. Spent the night at a guest house in London.
Got the address?
No, he couldn't recall the address.
How very convenient.
Says it was a clean and pleasant place.
Very helpful of him.
Says that in the morning he was fit to continue his journey, though he still felt very weak and tottery. He'd seen English papers while he was abroad, mentioning the discovery of the body in the churchyard, but says that that's all he knows about it.
Did you tell him it was Deacon?
Oh, yes.
How did he take that?
Looked startled enough, though if you ask me, the shock wasn't caused by hearing the dead man's name.
Oh?
Oh, no. I think he were more shocked by hearing that the police knew who it was.
The real question is, could Jim Thody have somehow doubled back from London that day and still have returned in time to meet his ship? I suppose you'd better get the London police on to tracking down his public house near Liverpool Street. Not to mention his clean and pleasant lodging house.
My lord, well, I'm glad to say we've already made some progress on that. We found the public house where he spent the afternoon, and they remember him. But there's no clue about the place he claims he spent the night at. Not surprisingly, really, because I don't think he spent the night in London at all.
Blundell, you astonish me. And no doubt you have some reason for believing that.
Yes, my lord. You see, we've established that Jim Thody hired a motorbike in London on the evening of the 4th of January.
Did he indeed? Oh. Well, I think the next thing to do is to confront him with the facts. Have we got a witness to the hiring of this motorbike?
Yes, we have. Young lad, but he seems quite reliable. Gave a very exact description of Jim Thody.
Look, before you do that...
Yes, my lord?
I think it is time, Blundell, for a spot of dirty work.
Dirty work, my lord?
Let's get Will Thody and his brother Jim together in one room. I think we could arrange something with one of the London police stations, don't you?
Well, yes, my lord, but...
You and I shall visit the room first and arrange a little surprise. And until then, they must not be allowed any contact with each other. Is that clear?
Yes, my lord, but I really don't...
No buts, Blundell. I shall first pay my farewells to the good rector, and I shall then meet you in London tomorrow. What do you think, Padre? Will the new wash-cut prove of immeasurable benefit to the Fens?
I'm sure I don't know, Lord Peter. They do say that it will greatly improve the flow of water and diminish the chances of flooding around Froglesham.
I dare say you're right. As long as it doesn't improve the chances of flooding elsewhere.
And whatever do you mean?
Well, they're doing the whole thing piecemeal, Padre. There's no overall plan. The spirit of the Fens, it appears, is such. Let the water go elsewhere, as long as it don't come my way.
Yes, you're quite right. There's a certain lack of community spirit in that regard. Oh, I'm sorry, by the way. I was unable to attend the opening ceremony. I hear your brother delivered a most fitting speech.
Oh, yes. Yes, Denver's really quite a dab hand at putting over the right speech at the right time. But apart from that, you really didn't miss much, Padre. All in all, it was a moderately successful celebration. 3 people fell into the river, 4 men and 1 old woman were had up for being drunk and disorderly. A motor car became entangled with a tradesman's cart, and young Go-to-Bed won first prize in the decorated motorcycle competition.
How delightful. Well, how is your case progressing?
Progress, Padre, is not a word that really comes to mind when dealing with this case. However, I am travelling to London this evening, and tomorrow Blundell and I shall be interrogating Will Foday and his brother Jim. And that, no doubt, will only throw us all into further confusion.
Oh, dear. I do hope poor Will Foday had nothing to do with that dreadful killing. It would really be...
Afternoon, rector. Afternoon, my lord.
Good afternoon.
Oh, Hezekiah. Good afternoon. I see you're keeping the old box tomb in good order.
Oh, I'm making old Samuel fine and clean for the summer. I've beaten old Samuel by 10 good years, I have. Lay me beside old Samuel, I says, for everybody to see as I've beaten him. And I got rector's promise, so I have. But they don't write no such beautiful poetry these days. You just take a look at this inscription, my lord.
Here lies the body of Samuel Snell, that for 50 years pulled the tenor bell. Through changes of this mortal race, he laid his blows and kept his pace. Till death the changes all did come to hunt him down and call him home. His wheel is broke, his rope is slacked, his clapper mute, his metal cracked. Yet when the great call summons him from ground, he shall be raised up, tunable and sound. Died 1697, aged 76 years. Ringing tailor Paul seems to be a healthy occupation. His servants live to a ripe old age, what?
So they do, young man, so they do. If so, they be faithful to un, and don't go a-angering on un. They bells do know well who's a-hauling on 'em. They can't abide a wicked man. Ain't that be right, rector?
Yes, indeed.
You, my lord, ain't got no call to be afeard of the bells, if so be as you follows righteousness.
Oh, quite. Yes, absolutely. Right, Blundell. Now let's have the other wire through here.
Right, sir.
No, as you were, under. Otherwise they'll spot it. Good. And I think the microphone, or whatever you call the beastly gadget, should be concealed over here, under the desk.
I'm not sure as the Chief Constable would be very pleased if he was to find out we were doing this to official police station premises, my lord.
I'm not sure as the Chief Constable is ever going to know about it, Blundell?
Well, I suppose not, but I'm sure this is a breach of judge's rules, my lord.
Very likely, Blundell, but since when were you ever an ardent supporter of judge's rules, Now, let's see if the whole system works. I'll go through into the next room and see if the microphone's working properly. Righty-ho, Blundell. Talk to yourself for a bit. There's a good chap.
Hello? Can you hear me, my lord?
Recite something.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went...
That'll do nicely. All right, Super, everything's working. Now, if you would be so kind as to fetch Will Foday and Brother Jim in here... They've not yet had a chance to talk with each other, so we'll leave them alone together for a short time and listen to what transpires.
Very good, my lord. I'll fetch 'em in now. They're in there now, my lord, so if there's any secrets, they'll come out now.
Splendid.
Well, William?
Well, Jim?
How much do they know?
Pretty well everything by what I can make out.
Very well, then. You'd better let me take the blame. I'm not married, and there's Mary and the kids to be thought of, but in God's name, Will, couldn't you have got rid of that fellow without killing him?
That is just what I was going to ask you.
You mean to say it wasn't you who did away with Deacon?
Of course not. I'd be a fool to do that. I thought you'd killed him.
But I never laid a hand on him, Will, till after he was dead.
But see here, Jim. If you didn't kill him, who did?
Time for us to announce our presence, I think, Superintendent. Come on.
All right. Let's have the rest of it.
What do you mean?
Now then, sit down, both of you, and let's start at the beginning, shall we?
You both realise that anything you say may be taken down in writing and later used in evidence against you? Right. Go ahead, Will.
I want to make it clear as I can that my poor wife never knew one thing about it, first to last. Why, that was my old trouble all the time. How to keep it from her. Well, let me see. It was on the night of December the 30th, and I was coming home pretty late, and I saw this light a-moving about near the church. Well, I think maybe it's Rector, or maybe it's Potty Peak, but I goes over to look because it do seem a bit strange, like. And when I gets near, I hear something moving about, bumping like in the chancel.
And so, you went inside?
Yes. And I goes, and there's a fella tugging at a ladder. And on the table I see a kind of lantern and something else that has no right to be there. And that's a revolver. So I catches hold of the revolver and I makes him put his hands up. And then he starts a-laughing and he says, "Think again, Will Thode." And I says, "How do you know my name?" And then I looked again and I said, "My God, it's Jeff Deacon." And he said, "Yes, and you're the man that's married my wife." And he laughed again. And then he came over me just what it all meant.
How did he know you'd married Mary? He didn't get it from Cranton.
It seemed he'd been scouting round, like, in the village. Of course, I thought he must be meaning to blackmail Mary. I didn't realise it was the emeralds he was after.
Why didn't you inform the police immediately?
Well, I was in half a mind to give him up to the police and just face the scandal about me and Mary, but when I thought about her and the kids, well, I couldn't face it. And he knew just how I stood the devil. So he stood there grinning at me. In the end, I made a devil's bargain with him. I said I'd hide him and give him the money to get out of the country, providing he kept quiet about everything. But I didn't trust him, so before I went to fetch the money, I made him go up the belfry stairs in front of me, and then I tied him up. It wasn't difficult. I had the revolver, you see.
So you got hold of a rope from the rope chest, and you tied him up to a beam in the bell chamber.
That's right, yes, my lord. I tied him up good and proper, though it were a bit of a job, with the rope being so thick. "Stay you here," I said, "and I'll bring you something to eat in the morning, and see you out of the country before you're 24 hours older." Well, he cursed like the devil, but I paid no attention to him. Well, next morning I felt ill, but I couldn't stop to think about that. I took Deacon some bread and cheese and beer, and I left him an old coat of mine so he wouldn't freeze. And I tied him up by his elbows and ankles, leaving his hands free so he could help himself to the victuals, but not untie himself.
But had you made any plans for shipping him off?
Oh, yes, my lord. I went over to Walbeach and had a talk with a pal of Jim's, a queer old skipper on a Dutch cargo boat that was lying there. I had a word with him, and he agreed to wait until 10 o'clock that night and take my passenger, no questions asked. £250 was the price he wanted, and I gave him 50 then and there, and held on to the £200 till I got Deacon on board. I started back, and then I got too ill to continue, and, well, you know what happened afterwards.
Well, that's very clear. I needn't tell you that you were compounding a serious felony by helping a convicted murderer to escape from justice. Speaking as a policeman, I'm shocked. Speaking as a human being, I've every sympathy. Now, Jim, I imagine your part of it comes in here.
Well, sir, as you know, poor Will was brought back in a terrible state, and we thought for a day or two he was pretty well gone. He was out of his head and kept on calling out that he must go down to the church, but we put that down to the bell-ringing business. Then, when Mary was out of the room, he clutched at my hand and started talking about keys and money and someone in the belfry. He kept on saying, "Don't let Mary know." Well, I thought he must be delirious-like, but then I looked in his coat and found a set of keys and a wad of money. Well, I began to think there must be something in it.
So, you went to the church?
Yes, that's right.
What day was that?
I reckon it was the 2nd of January. I went up into the belfry and, well, there he was.
He must have been pretty fed up with things by then.
Fed up? He was dead and cold.
Starved to death?
Not he. There was a bit of cheese beside him and near half a loaf of bread and 2 bottles of beer, one empty and one full. And he hadn't died of cold neither, as you might expect. I've seen men that died of exposure, and they died peaceful, curled up like kittens mostly, as if they'd gone in their sleep. No, he died on his feet, and whatever it was, he'd seen it coming to him. He'd struggled like a tiger against the ropes, working at them till he could get upright, and they'd cut through the stuff of his jacket and through his socks, and his face. My God, sir, I've never seen anything like it. His eyes staring open, and a look in them as if he'd looked down into hell. It fair shook me. Well, I couldn't make out who he was. I found papers with the name Paul Taylor, but that didn't help, and then I had a look at his hands.
Ah, now we're coming to it.
Yes, my lord. I didn't know Deacon that well, but I suddenly wondered if it might be him after all, so I looked at his hands, because he had a big scar on his hand where he'd fallen one day carrying a tray with a glass jug on it. I'd seen that scar, and I'd never forget it. When I saw that, my lord, I knew who it was.
Well then, I hadn't much doubt about what had happened. As God's my witness, Will, I couldn't blame you, only I wished it had happened in a fair fight.
If it had happened, Jim, it would have been in a fair fight. I might have killed him, but I wouldn't have killed him when he was tied up. You might have known that.
Well, so I might. But it seemed at the time as there was no way out of it. I had to think quick what to do. Then I remembered Lady Thorpe's funeral was fixed for the Saturday. It seemed to me that I might put him in her grave and he'd never be found.
So you went up to London and then doubled back by motorbike?
Yes, that's right. You know all about that. Well, I got back to Fenchurch St. Paul very late. It wasn't a pleasant job. Rolling that body down the ladders, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. And those bells! I was expecting all the time to hear them speak. I never had liked the sound of bells. Well, you'd think they were alive sometimes, and they could talk. When I was a boy, I read a story in an old magazine about a bell that called out after a murderer. You'll think I'm soft talking that way, but it made an impression on me, and I can't forget it.
The Rosamond, I know it well.
It called, "Help, Jehan, help, Jehan."
It gave me the grooves, too.
That's the one, my lord. Anyway, I got the body down to the grave, and I was just about to put it in when I remembered that the grave might be opened and the body recognized, so I gave him some good hard blows with the spade across the face. That was a bad bit, sir. And the hands, I'd recognize them, and so might other people. I got out my jackknife and...
With the big sugar nippers, they nipped off his flippers.
Yes, my lord. I made them into a parcel with his papers. I put the ropes and his hat down the well. Then I filled up the grave and put the wreaths back as tidily as I could. Then I cleaned the tools. I used the Sexton's spade and put them back where I found them. Then I had to go up and clean the belfry. There was still the cheese there, see, and the 2 bottles of beer.
3. You missed one.
Oh, did I? Well, now, I locked up everything tight, and then I wondered what to do with the keys. Finally, I thought I'd best leave them in the vestry, as though rector had forgotten them. He's very absent-minded. All but the key of the porch, and I left that in the lock. It was the best I could think of.
And the parcel?
I threw that into the 30-foot drain, 12 miles off from Fenchurch. I didn't quite know what to do with Will's old coat, but in the end I posted it back to him with a note. I just said, "Many thanks for the loan. I've put away what you left in the belfry." Well, I couldn't be more open for fear Mary might undo the parcel and read the letter.
You'll have to forgive me, Jim, but naturally I fancied you'd done the job. Only I kept on hoping that maybe he died natural.
He didn't do that.
Then who killed him?
I'm sure you didn't, Jim. If you had, you'd have accepted the suggestion that he died of exposure. Somehow I'm inclined to believe that your brother didn't do it either. Though you're both accessories after the fact, you'd have an awkward time with the prosecuting counsel, both of you. But personally, I'm inclined to believe you both.
Thank you, sir. Is there any reason why Will and Mary shouldn't go ahead and get remarried now, Super?
Well, I don't know as there is. Not if these two are telling the truth. Proceedings, there may be. You two ain't out the wood yet, but as to getting married, I don't see any great harm in it. We've got their story, and I don't know as poor Mary can add very much to it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blundell.
We may have to talk to the two of you again, you understand that. But if the superintendent is agreeable, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be free to go.
Thank you, my lord.
Yes, thank you, my lord.
Now make sure the desk sergeant is informed of your whereabouts. I don't want you two disappearing on me. Just go down the corridor and turn first right.
Thank you, Mr. Blundell.
Thank you.
Well, my lord, I have to admit that little trick of yours seems to have paid off. We've learned a great deal about what was going on in Fenchurch that night.
Yes, we have. There is, of course, just one little thing that we haven't sorted out, Blundell.
What's that, my lord?
Oh, it's nothing much. Just a trifling matter, really. But we still don't know who killed Deacon.
The public memory is a short one. The affair of the corpse in the country churchyard was succeeded, as the weeks rolled on, by so many bodies in blazing garages, manhunts for missing murderers, tragedies in West End flats, nude corpses in caves, and suicide pacts in lonely woods, that nobody gave the matter another thought. Except Superintendent Blundell and the obscure villagers of Fenchurch St. Paul, Potty Peak, Jim Thody, Will and Mary Thody. They'd all been interrogated, but there was still insufficient evidence to feel certain that any of them killed Deacon, nor had anyone even succeeded in establishing how the victim had died. Lord Peter Wimsey had determined that he would never go back to Fenchurch St. Paul. His memories of it were disquieting, and he felt that there were one or two people in the parish who would be better pleased if they never saw his face again. But when Theodore Venables, the rector of Fenchurch St. Paul, wrote to him and begged him to come and see them during the Christmas holidays, he felt bound to go. The deciding factor was that if Wimsey did not spend Christmas at Fenchurch, he would have no decent excuse for not spending it with his brother's family at Denver, and of all things in the world, a Christmas at Denver was most disagreeable to him. And so, Christmas Eve found Wimsey and Bunter making their way across country to Fenchurch St. Paul.
They seem, Bunter, to keep a special brand of disgusting weather in these parts. Last time it was snowing, and now it's pelting cats and dogs. There's a fate in it, Bunter.
Yes, my lord. A very inclement season, my lord.
Well, we must push on, push on. A merry heart goes all the way, You don't look very merry, Bunter, but then you are one of those sphinx-like people. I've never seen you look upset, except perhaps when Emily dusted the fingerprints off that infernal beer bottle.
Yes, my lord. That hurt my pride very much, if I may say so. A very curious circumstance, that, my lord.
Pure accident, I think, though it had a suspicious appearance about it at the time. Whereabouts are we now?
Limpsey.
Ah, yes, Limpsey. Limpsey, of course. Well, we must cross over the Great Leam here by the old bank sluice. We must be just coming up to it. By Jove, there's a lot of water coming through there. Let's take a look, shall we? I say, tide coming up?
What? Oh, yes, sir. We has to watch her now if we don't want to get the water across the causey. She don't rise very far, not without this an extraordinary high tide. We just has to do a bit of manipulation, like.
You see the idea, Bunter? If they shut this sluice, all the upland water has to go by the old Leam, which has enough to do as it is.
Yes, my lord.
But if they leave it open and the tide's strong enough to carry the floodwater back with it through the sluice, they'll drown all the country above the sluice.
That's about it, sir. Yeah, and if the floodwater carries the tide back, we might drown you. All depends, you see.
Then we hope you'll manipulate things in our favour. Just hold her back for a bit till we get to Fenchurch St. Paul. There's a good fellow.
Oh, we'll keep her level, don't you be afeard. There ain't nothing wrong with this sluice.
What about Van Laden's sluice?
I don't know about that, sir. Of course, they get a lot more water there now the new cut's been opened. I did hear as old Joe Massey down there was in a rare old state about them old gates of his. Yeah, 3 gentlemen went down there yesterday to look at them. From the Conservancy or the Board or something like that. But you can't do nothing for their gates in flood time. Maybe they'll hold, maybe they won't. It's all according.
Well, that's jolly. Have you made your will, Bunter?
No, my lord.
Come on, I think we better go while the going's good. Besides, I'm rather looking forward to having tea at the rectory for old time's sake. Though if Mr. Venables' memory is the same as before, he may have entirely forgotten that we're arriving.
It's delightful to see you again, Lord Peter. Quite delightful. My wife has been eagerly looking forward to your visit, haven't you, Agnes?
Oh, dear me, yes. Now, Lord Peter, sit down and I shall get Emily to bring us some tea.
Thank you, Mrs. Venables.
You must be feeling rather chilled.
No, I'm fine. Really, I am. I hope you are both keeping well?
Yes, we're quite well, thank you. Except for a slight cold that I'm suffering from. But it's nothing, really. What terrible weather, is it not? I hear they've got the floods out all over the Bedford level. We'll be skating on Bury Fen if we get any frosts after this. It doesn't look like it at present, though, does it? Well, they say a green winter makes a fat churchyard. But I always think extreme cold is really more trying for the old people.
I firmly intend, Padre, to have nothing to do with churchyards this time.
Oh, quite. It's a most distressing time for all concerned. I was most relieved to hear that the Thodays had been cleared of suspicion.
Yes, that was rather a relief. Sometimes I wish Deacon's body had never come to light at all. It's caused a lot of misery.
And you still have no idea who killed him?
No, I'm afraid not. No idea at all. The mystery remains. How's the bell ringing going these days, Padre?
Oh, fine. We're trying some Stedmans.
Ah.
Now, Will Thoday is ringing tonight. Now, I turned over in my mind what you told me, but I saw no reason for excluding him. I feel convinced that he committed no great sin, and it would arouse so much comment in the village if he left the ringers. Gossip, such a wicked thing, don't you think?
Oh, Theodore.
It must be time for our tea.
Theodore, oh dear.
Oh, goodness gracious. Whatever is the matter, Agnes?
There is a message just come down from Van Laden's sluice. The sluice gates are going.
Great heavens.
It seems they've done what they can with the sandbags and beams. They think it will hold this tide, but it's likely to go the next tide because the wind is building up.
Oh, I've been afraid of this. I've warned the drainage authorities over and over again about those gates, but they would not listen. Well, no, it is no good crying over spilt milk. We must act quickly. If Van Laden's sluice gives way, Lord Peter, you see what will happen. All the upper water will be turned back up the whale and drown us, 10 feet deep or more. Oh, my poor parishioners. All those outlying farms and cottages.
What about the church, Padre? Will that be safe?
Oh, yes, the church will be safe whatever happens. Well, unless we get a rise of over 12 feet, which is hardly likely. Now, first thing to do, ring the alarm. Everyone knows what that means, thank God. They learnt it during the war. Oh, I never thought I should thank God for the war, but he moves in a mysterious way. Now, Agnes, my dear, you'd better go and find Hinkins and tell him to fetch one of the other men and ring the alarm on Gowdy and Taylor Paul at once. Now, here are the keys of the church and the belfry.
Theodore, I think we should get the valuables and the parish records taken over to the church. If we put them in the tower, they're sure to be safe.
Yes, you're quite right, my dear. But I don't expect the house will be touched. But one can't be too careful.
Look, I'd like to be of help, Padre, if I can. Why don't I drive over to Van Laden's sluice and see if I can give a hand? The longer we can hold the gates there, the longer you'll have to make your preparations.
Oh, yes, that would be most kind, Lord Peter. Perhaps you can stop in the village and get on the telephone to St. Peter and St. Stephen and make sure that they are prepared. We haven't a moment to lose.
Do you put them sandbags in place? Now, keep filling them. Don't reckon we can hold it much longer, my lord. We thought we'd hold it till the next tide, but I don't reckon as we can, really.
How much longer?
I don't know. An hour, maybe 2. Oh, I told them, didn't I? I warned them. What become of us now?
Can you hold it longer if we get additional men?
A regiment of men couldn't do nothing now. We got 6 gangs working on it now, as well as extra volunteers from the villages. We can't do a lot with all these here thousands of tons of water coming down. And there's more to come, so to say.
Well, you better be careful. It'll be very dangerous here when the gates give way.
We'll be all right, sir.
Hello, Will Thurday's here as well. You better prepare to move to safer ground, Will.
Have you just come from Fenchurch, my lord?
Yes, I wanted to see if I could be of any help to you here.
My wife and children, are they safe?
Safe as houses, Will, don't you worry. The rector's doing wonders. He's preparing shelter for everybody in the church.
Well, he's not got much longer before this water will be down on the village.
Yes, I know. Come on, let's get on with the sandbagging.
Right on, my lord.
Animals in the churchyard, please. In the churchyard only. Cats, rabbits and guinea pigs in baskets, please. We can't have them running around loose. There go the alarm bells. Good.
Theodore, we must get Harry go to bed to rig a tackle over the church well for the drinking water.
Yes, you're quite right, my dear. But we must make sure that it is boiled. That is essential.
I've sent Emily to tell Mr. Henson.
Oh, yes, of course, the grocer I'd quite forgotten. Now, we may be stranded here for several days. Get him to move all his stores over to the church as rapidly as possible.
That's what I sent Emily to tell him.
Oh, good. Now, where's Harry? There you are, Harry.
I got all the stoves lit, Rector.
Take a bit to really get a roar in, but they'll be perfectly adequate soon enough.
Well done, Harry. Now, next thing to do, rope the church off into areas. One area for the school children, another for the sick and aged, one for all the furniture. Oh, yes, and then we must erect some cattle pens in the churchyard. You better get some help on that, Harry.
Right, Rector. Don't you worry, we'll soon have everything under control.
Mr. Bunter! Mr. Bunter!
Mrs. Venables, I was just looking for you. I was about to suggest that I lend some assistance with the commissariat, if not required elsewhere.
Oh, yes, that would be most helpful.
I understand that the rectory is in no immediate danger, and I was about to suggest that, with the kind help of the butcher, a sufficiency of hot soup might be prepared in the washhouse copper and brought over to the church in the wheeled watering tub, after the utensil had been adequately scalded, of course. And if there were such a thing as a paraffin stove anywhere...
By all means. But do be careful with the paraffin. We do not want to escape the water to fall into the fire.
Certainly not.
Harry, I think we better send some more ringers up into the tower. Let them pull the bears as they like and fire them at intervals.
Ah, Rector, you seem to be firmly in control of the situation.
Oh, Superintendent, how good of you to come over so soon. I think if we act quickly, there need be no loss of life.
I certainly hope not, though I fear a lot of valuable property will be destroyed. Would you like me to send you over a constable to the church?
Better, I think, to patrol the roads between the villages. St. Peter is greatly alarmed. They're afraid for the bridges.
We're arranging a service of ferry boats for them. They lie lower than you do here, and I fear they're not as well prepared as you seem to be.
We can offer them shelter here. The church will hold nearly 1,000 at a pinch, but they must bring what food they can. And the bedding, of course, Mrs. Venables is arranging it all.
Men sleeping quarters on the Cantoris side, women and children on the Decanei side. And we can put the sick and aged in the rectory in greater comfort if all goes well, but if not, we must do our best for them too.
And if I may rely on you, Superintendent, to send us victuals by boat as soon as it can be arranged. The road should be clear between Leamholt and the 30-foot, and the supplies can then be brought up from there by water.
Yeah, I'll organise a boat service from there as soon as I can, Rector.
If the railway embankment goes, you will have to see to St. Stephen as well.
Right you are, Rector.
Good day to you, Mrs. Giddings. Good day to you. As we're having quite an adventure, are we not?
Yeah.
Oh, Mary, I hear your husband's doing very good work down at the sluice. We must see that he doesn't come to any harm.
Right, now let's have another beam across this way.
I think we'd best be getting out of the way of them gates, my lord. Look.
Hey, you're right. Where's Will Thody? Will? We'll get the men out of here. Everybody back! Who's that man over there? Why doesn't he move? Hey, you there!
I don't reckon they can hear us with the rush of the water. She's given!
Get out of it, lads! Be alive! Look out there!
He's fell in!
Johnny! It's Johnny Cross!
God help him, he won't come out of that alive! Here, what are you doing?
I'm going in after him!
No, don't, Will, stop, you'll never get to him!
Oh, God, he's dived in! Out of my way! Out of my way there!
It's no good, my lord. There may be no point. Oh, you can't save them now. They both gone.
Who ended that? Johnny! Fody! Will Fody!
Oh.
They're both done for!
Stand your back, my lord.
Let go of me!
I want him, my lord. You stand back. We'll have no more lives lost. Save yourselves, lads. You can do them too no good.
God, the whole gate's going now! Run! Run like hell, men! Come on!
There was nothing any of us could do, Padre.
John Cross and Will Thody. Oh, that's terrible. God rest them, poor brave fellows. Agnes, my dear, I think you should be the one to break the sad news to their people.
Oh, dear. Poor Mary Thody. Fate has been so cruel to her. I shall tell her directly. And poor Mrs. Cross with 3 children. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Will Thody died trying to rescue the other man.
Will went to try and rescue Johnny. That's just what I would have expected of him. A dear, good fellow in spite of everything.
9 tailors make a man in Christ. His death at end in Adam yet began.
What did you say?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing news.
Lord Peter, you're not looking very well. Please rest now for a little. Everything's under control here. All we can do now is wait and pray that the water will not come up as high as the church. Almost all my parishioners are here, and any we've missed will be certain to hear the bells.
Yes, I'm sure you're right. The bells. I think I'll just go and see if I can relieve any of the ringers.
Well, if you insist, Lord Peter. If you insist.
I've been looking round, Theodore. I think everyone's here.
Oh, good. But we shall continue to ring the bells, my dear, for another few minutes or so, just in case there is still some poor soul left out there.
Harry, can I be of any help?
Oh, thank you, my lord. We're doing fine. Don't you worry about us.
Oh, very well. But if anybody wants a relief, don't hesitate to call me. I'll be up at the top of the belfry. I'll get the best possible view of the landscape from up there, and I can keep an eye on the approaching waters. The door is unlocked, I assume?
Yes, it is, my lord.
Splendid.
It's surprising, isn't it, how soft and mellow it sounds in here. But of course there's another floor between us and the belches.
Let the bells give time. Little Gaudet, Silver Sabaoth, Strong John and Jericho, Glad Jubilee, Sweet...
I'll never forget the sound it made. It wasn't loud, but kind of terribly sweet and threatening. You think I'm loony, but I tell you, that bell was alive.
That's a rope, that is. They got 8 of them hanging in the tower over there. There's number 9 a-coming, and that's a rope to hang 'em by. He's waiting for the 9 Tailors.
Oh, God. Oh, no. 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 Oh. Oh.
That's better. I never thought I should feel relieved at having the bells silenced, but they really are extremely loud. Now, what we have to do next is...
Where's Lord Peter?
I think he went off to help the ringers. Harry, you seen Lord Peter?
Yes, Rector. He went up the top of the tower, keep an eye on the water.
Through the bell chamber? And while the peal was being rung? Harry, come with me. My dear Lord Peter, whatever possessed you? It could have been most dangerous if one of the bells had struck you.
Oh, hello, Padre. Where... Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry about that.
Shall I fetch some brandy? You look extremely pale. Your ears and nose are bleeding.
No, thank you. No, I'll be all right. Never realised the noise could be quite so terrible. It's like the roar of heavy artillery.
Perhaps shall I fetch the doctor? Now, I'm sure if you...
No, please, don't trouble. No, I assure you I'll be all right, Padre. Oh, stupid of me, but I have lived to tell the tale, and that's what matters. Besides, you have more important matters to attend to. No, I shall be all right, Padre. I'll be quite all right. Thank you.
Well, my lord, not a pleasant sight, is it? Nothing but ooze and weed as far as the eye can see. It'll take a deal of clearing up now that the flood's gone down. It doesn't smell too agreeable, neither.
Nonsense, Blundell. At Southend, you'd call it ozone and pay £1 to sniff for it. Well, Padre, Fenchurch St. Paul has lived through a lot in the last year. But at least we needn't look for a murderer now.
And what do you mean, Lord Peter?
Because the murderers of Jeff Deacon are hanging already. And a good deal higher than Haman.
Murderers? More than one? Oh, who were they?
Gaudet, Sabaoth, John, Jericho, Jubilee, Dimity, Batty Thomas, and Taylor Paul.
The bells.
Yes, I ought to have guessed. I believe it's at St. Paul's Cathedral that it's said to be death to enter the bell chamber when a peal is being rung. I certainly know that if I'd stayed 10 minutes more in the tower that night when they rang the alarm, I should have been dead too. I don't know exactly what of, stroke, apoplexy, shock, anything you like. The sound of a trumpet laid flat the walls of Jericho, and the note of a fiddle will shatter a vessel of glass. I know that no human frame could bear the noise of the bells for more than 15 minutes. And Deacon was shut up there, roped and tied, for 9 interminable hours between the old year and the new.
My God.
You mean, Lord Peter, that it was our ringing the peal together that killed him?
I'm afraid so, Padre.
You said to me once you wished you'd killed Deacon yourself.
I did kill him, Blundell. Or rather, we all did. I, the rector here, and Hezekiah, and all the other ringers. The noise must have been worse that night than it was when I experienced it. Think how the snow choked the louvers and kept the sound pent up in the tower. Jeff Deacon was a bad man, but when I think of the horror of his lonely and intolerable death agony...
There have always been legends about Batty Thomas. She has slain other men in the past. Hezekiah will tell you that the bells are said to be jealous of the presence of evil. Perhaps God speaks through those mouths of inarticulate metals. He is a righteous judge, strong and patient.
Well, seems as if we needn't take any more steps in this matter. The man's dead, and the fellow that put him up there's dead too, poor chap, and that's about all there is to it. I don't altogether understand about these bells, but I'll take your word for it, my lord. Matter of periods of vibration, I suppose. Yours seems the best solution, and I'll put it up to the chief constable. That's all there is to it. I'll wish you good morning, gentlemen.
The voice of the bells of Fenchurch St. Paul. Gaudet, Sabaoth, John, Jericho, Jubilee, Dimity, Batty Thomas, and Taylor Paul. 9 tailors make a man in Christ. Is death at end? In Adam yet began.
The bells of Fenchurch Street, St. Paul, have told the truth at last. Beneath their ancient music lay guilt, love, and redemption, the 3 notes that ring in every human heart. If you've enjoyed tonight's story, do subscribe to Detective Radio, leave us a comment, tell us your thoughts, and join us again next week for another classic mystery brought to life in sound. Until then, keep your lanterns lit, your secrets close, and your ears open for the tolling of the bells.